Good morning, Copers. Good morning, you guys. Hello. Welcome. We're back. Monday, October 6th. How are you guys doing? I had a good nice little break, recharge the batteries. Went by really fast. Crazy how time can go by so fast when you're doing just about nothing at all. Um, of course, we're continuing with alt rock 90s week here, which we started last week. That was the Offspring, Get a Job. A couple thoughts on the Offspring. I saw somebody mention race mixing in the video. I wasn't looking at the video. I'll assume that was there. I'll take your word on it. The 90s was such a different time, such a relatively innocent time by today's standards, that the red pills that we take for granted, the stuff that we know thanks to the internet and the hard work of groundbreaking racists spreading this message on the people just didn't know back then. And it comes through in some of the lyrics. I mean, even in that song, even the opening, telling his girlfriend she has to get a job. That's a very kind of like feminist, get women in the workplace. You like, oh, you don't have a job and you're a loser. Like I get it. It's his girlfriend. Like they're not married, but it still is sort of pushing that a little bit, and it ties into another Offspring lyric that I don't like from one of their best songs. The kids aren't all right. Is it the kids aren't all right? That's what it is, right? And they say like Jenny had a chance. Yeah, she really did. Instead, she dropped out, had a couple of kids, you know, so she dropped out of school to have children.
LP crash out 10 20 25 cent $5 bet we can get a crab out within 30 minutes. He yearns for another vacation.
Dude, the video was playing and I could hear the audio crash. Could you guys hear that? The audio is a little bit wonky. And I swear, I was ready to just be like, I'll see you next week. Not really, but thank you for the $5.
$3. The big baby is back from his
there
tantrum.
We go.
You ain't cut out for it. Go put the nail in the box, lil nigga.
Oh, I'll see you next, man. Don't send me power chats. It makes me so angry when you send me power chats. Anyway, you can read between the lines of that lyric that Jenny's a single mom, in which case, yeah, okay, that's kind of bad. But you have to like interpolate that. It's not, the lyric is just she dropped out of school to have kids. And that's put on the same level as like a guy who commits suicide and a guy who like becomes a heroin junkie. It's a little weird, right? Unless you're kind of interpreting it in the most negative way possible beyond what they're saying. And then of course you have Pretty Fly for a White Guy, which the whole punchline of that song is that white guys are lame and not funny. And I never know how to feel it because like, this is the music from my teenage years, and everybody knows that when the music from when you're a teen like hits the hardest in a lot of ways, like music never really like takes on the same whatever it is as you get older. So I hear those songs, I still like the songs, but they're kind of tainted in hindsight. You know what we need? We need the musicians to like apologize in the same way that they would, like, people have been like doing apologies for offensive stuff that was like insensitive racially or whatever. Like there's that Minor Threat song, Guilty of Being White, that somebody sent that in on one of the Friday shows, and I was like looking it up and I kind of went down the rabbit hole a little bit. And the guy who wrote that, the guy from Minor Threat,
Mr. Bliss Chilling sent $3. Charlie Kirk was most certainly hit by a laser satellite, but no, seriously, we'll probably never know what really happened, but it's almost certainly not the official story.
I think that Tyler kid shot him with a rifle. That's what I think, but we don't need to get into all that. they like struggle sessioned that guy. Journalists like set him down and struggle sessioned him into disavowing the song, guilty of being white, and doing the whole like, oh, I was an angsty teen, like I didn't know anything. We need to do that. We need to do that with like the Offspring guy. Is he even still alive? What's going on with that guy? You haven't heard of Offspring's a band I haven't heard of in a while. We need to struggle that session guy into apologizing for Pretty Fly for a White Guy. All right, let's get into some of the news here. Starting with this story that I'm a little bit on the inside of. This uncensored AI got banned from Twitter. This was a big affiliate account. They had lots of right-wing influencers who they had given the affiliate badge to, and I was one of them. So I know a little bit about how this worked on the inside, and I'll give you guys my perspective.
$20 AI is getting out of control. And yes, music from your teens always hits the hardest. How it ages depends on what you listen to.
Thank you for the $20. I felt like that was a dig from the metalheads. Are metalheads embarrassed of the music they listened to in high school? Probably not, for the most part. Are the metalheads the ones who got away with it? Minor Threat is definitely not a cool. Well, I learned that. I don't know that much about them, but I was reading about it, the whole thing on Reddit, because somebody put up a cringe post on Reddit about that song, and the people in the replies were like, "Have you ever listened to Minor Threat? They're like a bunch of like progressive soy boys, basically." I'm paraphrasing. Tim Pool getting his beanie knocked off. I'm glad we got that one in there. Okay. So this account got censored without warning. First they had their affiliate, so they were like a gold check mark account, right, which is $5,000 a month. And this is this weird thing about Twitter, about X. I don't know. That's what I read on Reddit, dude. Okay, all right. I don't know. I never really got into Minor Threat.
Rat Suspector sent $5. My buddy is a massive Metal Gear head. He told me that MGS3 Remake would be a great launch point for normies.
See, it's crackling.
Do you agree? And are you gonna play the new remaster?
I thought I had fixed this. I thought now I'm getting triggered. Thank you, Rat Respector. I never got into Minor Threat, okay? I like pop punk. I like Blink 182 and Sum 41. I like bands that have numbers after the name. NoFX. NoFX is another band like that, like the Offspring, where, don't call me white and kill all the white man and so on and so forth, but kind of good songs. I kind of like those songs. Propaganda, same thing. Retard communists, but some of the songs go hard. Anyway. So they're paying $5,000 a month for this badge for several months. Let's say they had it for 6 months. I don't know exactly how long they had it, but that's $30,000. Okay, quick maths there. Quick Mensa maths. You paid $30,000 in 6 months, and then Twitter just says, "Boot, we're taking," like, no warning. It's very weird. They don't reach out to you and say, hey, you're doing something you can't do. We're gonna like action you. You need to, you know what I mean? They just like strip you in the dead of night. All the affiliate badges taken away, and then a couple days later, or like a day later, the actual account was banned too. Nobody's got the account tag, but you see it here. This is the account. It was, this is the tag here too. Account suspended. Grok says that they were probably, they got there was like hit pieces written by Memory and Wired citing anti-Semitic content such as Holocaust denial and responses. So this is an AI program that was not given no-go zones. It's based off of the Gab AI by Andrew Torba, or it's using the Gab AI. I don't know exactly what the deal is, but using that API, I guess. And for a Twitter bot that would like reply to people's questions and that, and apparently it was doing the Holocaust denialisms, and so they banned it. And then there's this like hit piece written up by this Jew named Jack Donnelly, which is an Irish name, redneck Irish Jew, Jewish American Israeli. He writes up this article called "The Real Cabal: Charlie Kirk's Letter and the Rise," and this is a big conspiratorial thing about how uncensored AI is a huge propaganda campaign to push anti-Semitism, right? And all these big influencers are involved. By the way, he lists all the influencers, but I'm not in there, which I was a little bit like, once again, Hypocrite, chopped liver. Is that it? What am I? Chopped liver? Oh, there's a part 2. Wait, contracts? Did he bust out? Because I was going to tell. Okay, so hold on. Before we look at this, let me just give my experience and we'll see how it matches up. I had seen a bunch of accounts.
Kristen Chase sent $50. Nah, welcome back to your job. Also, the Offspring never evolved. Fun when I was 15 in 1998, but they stayed as immature dicks and never grew up. Now lost to history almost.
Do they still make music? Are they still alive? What is even going on with that? You know, there's something to be said for never growing up, I suppose. There's something to, you know, stick to your roots. Anyway, thank you for the big dono, Tristan Chase. Appreciate it. You know, I saw like that Hermes guy, he had it, and I always had this like kind of way of thinking, if somebody who is like smaller than me has something, then I think, oh well, I could do that. I saw Hermes had the badge, and I thought, well, if they'll give it to him, and they must be paying him to have that. So I reached out of my own volition and said, hey, heard you're hiring affiliates. You know, what's the deal? And I talked to the guy, JD Sharp, I think that's his name, who runs the company. Let me double check that. Yeah, JD Sharp. And he offered me a deal. Here's the contract that I took. It was 10,000 shares in the company, which is not a public company yet, but I have no idea if this is even true, but he told me that they were internally valued at $2 per share currently. So $20,000 to have the badge for 2 years and to tweet twice a week, like a screenshot of me talking to the AI. What's that big light? That's our Halloween pumpkin. For some reason, it doesn't show up good on the, I don't know if I can like, change the focus somehow to make it. No, that just zooms in. Wait, how do you do the focus? There is like a thing. Anyway, it's a pumpkin. It's a neon pumpkin jack-o'-lantern that I got at Target for like $20. Impulse buy. It just looks like shit on cam, unfortunately. It's too bright in my room. Is that the problem? What if we do lights off? Let's experiment. Nope, doesn't really help. There is a slider to turn down the lights, like adjust them gradually, but it's on the other switch by my door. Anyway. Hey, thank you, Uncle Kenny.
Gifted 1 subscription on Rumble.
Thank you, appreciate that. You saw Offspring 3 weeks ago? They rocked? That's so crazy.
A mod copso propagandi drummer put a drumstick up his match. Really, sent $3 what you know about kale chips y'all. Made gold still gay long time.
Dude, Uzimon. I hear that. I just instantly get it stuck in my head. So what you know about kale chips? What was I talking about? Oh yeah. So that was the deal. And I didn't negotiate. I just took it. I didn't negotiate. I know it's not a good deal. I know I'm worth like it's worth more than that for a big account like mine, but I just took it. I was like, whatever. It's an extra $10,000 a year, basically. That's not an insignificant sum for me. So I was happy to just take it.
Sir the Mistrick sent $5 on Rumble. The Offspring cucked out during COVID and fired their drummer for not getting the vax.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Good grief. Cucked out. Did him dirty. Well, guess who's laughing now? The drummer. Also, you know, who knows, maybe the stock would like go up in value and it would be worth a lot of money. Maybe I would be like that guy who painted the Facebook offices and he took the stock when it was worth nothing and now he's like a bazillionaire and he just spends all his time gambling in Vegas banging hookers because he's so rich. What's that guy's name? David Fong or something? I talked about it a long time ago on stream. Anyway, probably not. There's so many of these bullshit AI companies. They're like a dime a dozen.
Sent $3 new Murdoch
David Cho,
Q&A
that's
incoming.
It. New Murdoch. Oh, Q&A. I was kind of excited. I mean, that's still cool, but I'd be much more excited for a episode. Still, that's cool. It'd be nice to hear from them. Oh man, I got big things planned for the Murdoch stream at the end of the year. Not like getting them on, unfortunately, but who knows? I think this year will be like the biggest one yet, and then maybe next year, maybe we can make that happen, and then maybe I'll just quit doing it after that because you can't top that. I'm gonna go back to the other thing. Don't worry, Cat Respecter. The Dono bar is still on the other scene. I'm just doing my monologue here, kind of. But that's basically it. So they didn't like tell me what to post or anything like that. Let's look at this. So let's see what other people
sent $5. Every truly uncensored AI quickly becomes anti-Semitic. That's why there is such pressure to censor AI. Examples include Tay and Grok.
It do seem to be that way. It does, you know, because I always wonder, because it's like, okay, it's Andrew Torba's AI. Like, is he nudging it in that direction? You do wonder. But it's true that Grok, when they changed Grok's, they just added like one thing to Grok, which was like, don't worry about being politically correct. And Grok turned into Mecha Hitler and just was like, we got to do something about these Jews. Oh, man. Free my boy. Does he get into people's contracts on here? I want to see how badly I'm getting fucked because by not negotiating. You got to negotiate. I don't know what's wrong with me. I'm a pushover. What is this? This is Crunchbase. Troy Weber is not the founder, but is a pedophile. Whoa. JD Sharp is the founder of Uncensored AI, not Troy Weber. Weber is a former employee who was fired for being a pedophile. Well, that's not good. Bruh. And by the way, I have no idea what's going to happen if I'm going to get anything now for all the posts I did do. Lesson learned there. The social media is such an unknown landscape. You gotta like talk about that in advance. Like what happens if I get banned halfway through or you get banned? Because if you don't talk about that, the answer is nothing. You're gonna get nothing probably. Okay. JD Sharp is an alleged scammer. What is the breadth of his scams? Sports betting to real estate to straight up fraud and outright refusal to execute contracts. That's not promising either. Adam Scott, who is owed 5% of Uncensored.ai for his work in management of the early versions of the AI system and setting up the team, has never been paid for his efforts despite an official documented contract. Interesting. Let's see. The severance shall be paid within 30 days. So he never got paid, is what he's saying. Lucas Gage got scammed with Stu Peters. That doesn't really have anything to do with uncensored AI, but does seem to be true. It's kind of funny how it is kind of funny how he's using uncensored AI to get these questions. Who is Jason Dick? JD Sharp is Jason Dick. Okay, so here is a contract. Though this is the Adams. This is the one we already saw. 5% of equity. The current value of the company is $250,000. Anyway, all right. So they don't have any of the actual affiliate contracts. That's what I was kind of curious about to see if I was getting a really shitty deal compared to other people. Anyway,
Cat Respecter, proud sponsor of
Yo!
Blacktivities and Monday's most prominent donor, sent $51.
Oh fuck, man! I had the memes up. Sorry, guy. You were supposed to kind of see that. Sorry, guys. I'm a little rusty. I'm a little out of practice. Anyway, yeah, I thought you guys could see what I was looking at. So this guy, Jake Donnelly, he takes credit for writing up these articles and getting the company banned. He also talks about it like it's this huge cabal of, right, look at this, the real cabal. For years, anti-Semites lied that Jews secretly run a cabal. The truth, the real cabal exists, and it's called Uncensored AI. A coordinated propaganda empire pumping millions of anti-Israel and anti-Semitic posts into social media. That's insane. Millions of posts every day. That's insane. My deal, and I'm assuming there was 81 affiliates, and every person's deal, I'm assuming, was roughly the same, which was 2 posts per week. And I was never told what to post. He lists some of the affiliates here: Matt Wallace, Ryan Fournier, Jake Shields, Stu Peters, Lauren Witzke. This isn't random trolling. It's the largest anti-Semitic propaganda machine online, radicalizing millions and weaponizing lies against Jews and Israels. The cabal everyone warned about isn't Jewish. It's uncensored AI. So you see it's really funny the way this kind of conspiratorial thinking works when you're somebody with inside knowledge looking at somebody on the outside talking about what's happening. It's just like blown so out of proportion. It's literally just a AI company that tells the truth. You know what I mean? They call it, like, they say it's like all this propaganda, but at no point do they like point out one thing that the AI said that was wrong. Although, of course, they would claim that Holocaust denialism is wrong. Stu Peters says claiming that Jews secretly control the world is anti-Semitic. Some Jew with 8K followers gets the largest affiliate account on X nuked. Jake Donnelly, red, white, blue Jew. Ha ha ha, I win. You got by a sports play-by-play broadcaster. Now, there's been a lot of talk about Israel's paid propaganda campaigns because there's people have been digging into some of the FARA registrations. We're going to get to that at the end of the show. I left it for the end because it's kind of dry. And that what we just went through is kind of dry, and I don't want to bore people to tears, but we are going to come back to what's going on with these $7,000 per post memes and this and that. But first, we got a bunch of other stuff to look at. This was a tweet I saw. This went viral, 2 million views. It's a screen cap of like a TikTok or an Instagram post that says, "The lion does not concern himself with his noticeable memory loss, brain fog, and slight cognitive decline." And this went viral with lots of people being like, "Oh, I thought I was the only one." And this is so relatable to me. I feel like my brain has fallen off a cliff in the last year. My memory is totally unreliable. I can't like recall things when I need them. The brain fog hasn't been that bad since I started the TRT, but like the memory just is like gone, dude. It's really concerning to me because it's like I'm 44. I'll be 45 in a couple months. And the rate though that it feels like I'm losing my brain is like 3 years from now, I'm going to be like a dementia patient. Yeah, vax. Well, that's what people are saying. They're saying it has to do with COVID, whether that be the vax or just getting COVID, that these are symptoms. But a lot of people relate to this and we're kind of like, oh, I thought I was the only one. So something's going on, man. And it's just kind of nice to know you're not the only one, for whatever that's worth. YouTube to pay $25 million to settle Trump lawsuit. This is also interesting. YouTube paying Trump $25 million for suspending his YouTube channel. You know, these terms of services that these companies have are like usually so airtight to make you think you can't do anything. It's basically like, it's right there in the like terms, like we reserve the right to ban anybody for any reason, basically. And so that stuff's there. And then you'd think, well, why would I ever like sue these guys? Why would I ever, like, I can't win. But Trump got them to pay him $25 million in a settlement. So I don't know. It would be interesting to see more, you know, people who aren't politicians, somebody else try to do this. People have gone up against like Facebook and stuff like that before and usually lose, but the fact that they settled, that they had to be scared of something. Am I chugging creatine? I do take daily creatine. I don't know if it works. I feel like it upsets my stomach a little bit, but it's manageable. 5G. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of theories going around in that thread, and I did see people saying 5G. I don't know how much I believe that, but that is one of the theories as well, one of the alternate theories. Too much time on the smartphones, et cetera, et cetera. A little bit more Magic the Gathering drama news for you guys. A player was banned from a big event known as Eternal Weekend, allegedly for wearing because he's known for wearing a MAGA hat. Now, we don't know exactly why he was banned, but a bunch of players signed this open letter. So it says, John Brennan, a former MTG champion who wears a MAGA hat and was banned from next week's Eternal Weekend. And so they wrote a letter here being like, hey, why are you doing this? And why don't we have a better explanation? And that this is the guy here. They have a petition with 301 signatures. It's also funny because the petition doesn't say like unban him. It just says he deserves better. Now the company had put out a statement, which I actually forgot to pull up. They basically said kick rocks. John Finkel, who Magic players will know he's a well-known Magic pro.
Mandelbrot _ sent $35
Hey!
since there was no YCSP last night. Welcome back.
Well, shit, Mandelbrot. You know, you're the only one who ever sends real super chats during YCSP, and if I had known you were going to send them even when I don't do the show, I would have quit doing the show a long time ago, so thank you. That's kind of a joke. I'm not quitting the show yet. I dream of the day when I take that cumbersome burden off my hands. But that day is not today. Thank you for the $35.
Heads Dead sent $3. The way you fix this is you must drink equally or more creatine ton you have smoked marijuana.
That's going to be a lot of creatine. I am dreading this week because it's going to be a really big YCSP. It'll probably be an hour earlier on Sunday because it's probably going to be like one of those 4-hour episodes, which means my whole week is going to be dedicated to getting far enough ahead on everything else that I actually have time to even put that together. So kind of regret it, but that's life. Anyway, try smoking the creatine. John Finkel, who has he, him, and Jew against genocide in his profile, said, if one goes out of their way to make members of a community uncomfortable, don't be surprised when that community doesn't want you to be part of it. If you're not going to treat trans people like human beings, don't whine when you get shown the door. Magic is in this kind of conundrum where they have like multiple trans pros now. They're not like the best players, but they sometimes make it into the top 8 and stuff like that. And they've made taken such a firm stance on being like accepting and LGBTQ allies and shit like that, that it's like the rest of the world has kind of moved on and just been like, yeah, a man thinking he's a woman is like objectively insane, and we are just going to stop trying to force you to pretend like it isn't. But so the Magic the Gathering world has this kind of quaint thing where they're still hanging on to that. They're still hanging on to that. If you disagree with gender ideology, if you you could get banned from Magic for tweeting out that a man thinking he's a woman is delusional. You know what I mean? Not for your conduct at tournaments or anything like that. This is just your personal conduct and saying that you think it's crazy for a man to think he's a woman. That's like all it takes for this to be not treating trans people like human beings, right? Which again, most people, even like shit libs like Bill Maher have accepted that you're not going to win that battle. And they know that most libs who claim to agree with that are just pretending. So they've like kind of given up and just kind of been like, yeah, look, this is one of those things. People are never going to sign off on it. So you just have to like agree to disagree. Yeah, the quartering was banned for life for like harassing Christine Sprankle, which was kind of a similar situation to that Gazban ogre thing, but not. I actually thought Christine Sprankle was like less guilty of really being in the wrong. I thought she was they were kind of being dicks to her, honestly. I talked about that way back in the day, but ancient history. Moving on, Jesse Waters had a former member of Antifa on, and he gave details about the inside of the organization.
You're young and you're idealistic and you feel like you don't have a lot of control in your life, and so if you can go out there and make yourself a hassle, then that's better than being an anonymous kid.
That's true. So, I mean, what kind of violence?
That's true. If you can go out and make yourself a hassle, that's better than being a nobody. Jesse's like, yeah, that's true.
Are you guys getting into?
Kids are stupid, and that's retarded.
Explosives or vandalism?
Oh,
what?
Yeah. So it would have been about 9th grade or so. Get on a few years. Growing up in Seattle, we had those the riots in '99, and yeah, I was ready to go, man. I had little Molotov cocktails in my bedroom and a copy of the Anarchist Cookbook that I had photoshopped or photocopied at the time from a friend of mine's older brother.
Wow, real bad.
It was just at the time, and like, oh, this is just a good time. And it's only later on that you get more involved with the ideas, the philosophies, the direct action ideologies that go deeper into later on becoming like a full-blown anarcho-communist and syndicalist.
So what does that mean? What was the ideology? Full-blown communism?
I mean, a lot of it is these are accelerationism. It's not the slow march to the institutions. It is, we want this and we want it now. And one of the reasons that I got out of it is probably around 2014, 15, we started seeing groups come up to Seattle and Portland from California, and they were much more like, hey, you better get in line with this, and if you're not, there's consequences and there's pressure.
So you were being forced to take violent action, or else you might have been hurt?
Oh, not only that, but there was pressure, there was ostracization, things of that nature where, you might get into it, say, like, because you don't like bigotry in the music scene. And then later on, it's, you're going to adhere to these tenets.
The Magic the Gathering to Antifa pipeline.
You're going to say and think these ways. And if you're on the fence at all, silence is violence, and your comrades are going to become a problem.
This guy's a tard fed. I mean, that's the problem with anonymity, right? I'm not going to lie. The word fed did float through my mind as I was watching this. But he's such a fucking idiot. I don't think he is a fed. A fed would be at least a little more articulate. A fed would actually have something to say that would be kind of damning. What's going on with my power chat, guys? At least I have a drawing. Make that get paid. Well, thank you, Jay Parabellum. It's about time somebody sticked up. Good grief. Speaking of cognitive decline, thank you for the $5. It's so Jover. I need to get into a low cognitive job. I need to become a mailman. How do I reset power chat? How does any of this work? Hold on. Refresh. A little bit of pagan drama. Tom Roswell, also known as Survive the Jive. I'm sure many of you familiar with this guy. Big YouTube, Survive the Jive. Also pagan, open pagan, says, for those who don't know the beef between me and Varg, that's of course Varg Vilkerns, another big pagan, who I'm assuming most of you are familiar with. He says, the beef began in 2017 because I disagreed with he and his wife saying all paganism is about cult of natalism and sacred placentas. He quickly escalated to spreading lies about me, my wife, and her family. This is one of the many memes from that era. Take the placenta pill, stop being a 6-year-old. Body organ text made by Placenta Gang. You know, I mentioned this in my video after my daughter was born, but the placenta is, the design on the placenta, the tree of life, it is very cool looking. And I can see how you would make a spiritual connection between that, which I do think God made it that way for a reason. But yeah, it looks like a tree. The like, is it veins? Would you call it the veins on the placenta? Whatever it is, it looks like a tree. After all these years, Varg is still angry with me for using sources. He is ranting about how I am a secret Christian again too and making up lies about my family. People who trust in the sources we have for paganism and archaeology are delusional. All these sources were not only Christians, but most of the time priests. And the modern scholars are exclusively using them as they source and build on what they said about it. How do you know anything, though, if you don't have sources? You just intuit it all?
Sent $3 look into the GAPS diet, gut and psychology syndrome diet.
Thank you. You know, I have been wondering what to do because I wasn't going to mention this, but I've also been experiencing tinnitus. And in fact, I'm experiencing it right now. I did Google like what to do about that. And the answers are not good, which that's ringing in the ears. I'm having more and more ringing in my ears. So if anybody has any hot tips for that one, leave a comment on the video. Since I might not see the chat go by, or send a super chat if you want. If you can't trust any of the sources, then how do you know anything? You just have to figure it out through your instincts, your Aryan instincts. Is it the 5G? I have horrible tinnitus and it's been getting worse. Yeah, it's not fun, man. It's not a fun thing. It's one of those things too where it's like the more you notice it and think about it, like the more insane it drives you. Stuffed sinus, that could be.
The lion does not concern himself with the opinions of pagans. Welcome back, LP.
Thank you, Papa Nurgle. You know what? You might be onto something because I do feel kind of stuffed up. Varg alleges I am a secret Jesuit and that STJ, so let's survive the jive. STJ stands for Saint Jerome or something. I mean, this is just very funny to me because, you know, the pagans that I talk to on that space, Big Tech and Adam Green and the Gnostic Informant and those guys, who's that guy, Amalek? They seem like they didn't believe anything. And now I'm coming to find out that the pagans who do take it seriously, which I would, both of these guys, they in the same way that right-wing Christians accuse each other of being Jews, these guys accuse each other of being Christians, come to find out. Because that's like the worst thing. And they argue about how to be a real pagan, which is very funny. So this, because Christians do that. You know, that's the one thing atheists have going for them. Atheists have nothing going for them at all except for one thing, which is that they don't argue with each other about how to be an atheist. Varg alleges I am a secret Jesuit, and that STJ stands for Saint Jerome. I was a freelance writer in 2013, and one of the commissions I got was for a Catholic website to write about the increasing popularity of Latin Mass. I have been heathen since 2009, so this was not written because I was a Christian, but he holds it up as evidence I am a Christian. The lies he spread about my wife under his pseudonym John Haythorne in 2018, 2019 aren't worth repeating. There are also many other egregious lies he used to spread about me, but I will focus on addressing the ones he has started to repeat as of yesterday. He says my wife and I were married in a Catholic church and that I partook of the Christian sacrament in 2018. In fact, the church we first exchanged our vows in was the so-called Haga Church near Uppsala, Sweden, where I also named my friend's daughter and conducted several other rites. It is actually an Iron Age pagan ritual area for sacrifices and is adjacent to the Bronze Age barrow at Haga. So this is where he had his first wedding at, the pagan church, which is rocks in a horseshoe shape, and where he performed other rites where they do sacrifices. That's not concerning. A week later, we had a second marriage ceremony at a Lutheran cathedral. My wife's father and grandfather are both Lutheran priests in the Church of Sweden. Unlike for Catholics, the Lutheran wedding ceremony is not considered partaking of the sacrament, as Varg claims. So everybody who goes, I guess he was the one getting married, so it's not necessarily. I don't know that much about Catholicism, but apparently when you get married, you're partaking of the sacrament. Lutherans recognize only baptism and the Lord's Supper as sacraments because they involve a visible element and convey forgiveness of sins, which marriage does not.
Ying Yang sent $3. Here's a little fact about your religion, guys. Before the year 2025, there were 25 Messiah figures who did all the similar thing Jesus Christ did in the Bible. Christianity is a copy of a copy of a copy. Christianity is about control. You're welcome.
What do you mean before the year 20? Do you mean before the year like 25 AD, BC, whichever one? It's confused because I always think AD is after death, but that's not right. It's like anyway. What the fuck are you talking about before 2025? So you know Jesus has been around for like 2,000 years, right? I don't even understand what you meant. You mean before Jesus? Is that what you mean? Because Jesus didn't just start up this year. The whole Jesus thing, we didn't just fire that up. Anno Domini, thank you. We didn't just fire up that whole Jesus thing in 2025. It's been around for a minute.
Ear Dr. Goem sent $3. Try the Van Gogh technique to fix tinnitus.
Cut off my ear. Trade roll. Thank you. That would work. Actually, it might not work. They say tinnitus is in the brain. Although they also say like impacted earwax can cause it. So it's like I'm getting mixed signals, but they say it's like it's a brain thing, and they say you can fix it with like cognitive behavioral therapy. Which I need to look into. I need to ask Grok. I need to ask Grok to guide me through the CBT. Why did we have a Christian ceremony? Because marriage in heathen and Christian tradition is about the joining together of two families, not just two people. My wife's family are mostly Lutherans, so they did it for the family. You get the idea. Okay. And also in pagan news, Adam Green spurgs out about Christianity in the Third Reich. Now, I haven't watched this clip. Adam Green and I guess Devin Stack both went on the Backlash and talked about this whole, the one thing that Adam Green ever talks about ever in his life. I haven't watched it. I've heard it. I know the spiel, but I'm hoping. But the guy says he spurgs out in this clip, so I'm hoping that's true. I'm hoping it's a funny clip. I already think it's kind of funny that they played the documentary on the stream. They're like, "Hey Adam, let's debate," and then the debate is like, "I play this documentary and you have to watch it." Anyway, let's see what happens here.
In the subheading Religion and Art, the program reads, "The same applies to all the stupid attacks on Christianity. Expressions such as Christianity has only done harm merely show that the man who says them has neither human nor political intelligence."
Okay, I'm done. Sorry.
When is that from?
Dave Powerball sent $5. Haven't you seen the ads on Rumble about tinnitus? I'm sure they're not a scam.
Are there really ads? I have Rumble Premium, so I don't see ads on Rumble. Are the Jews using space lasers to give me tinnitus and then trying to sell me the cure through Rumble ads? Is that's what's going on? How's my cortisol level? I don't know. I haven't had my blood work done in a minute. Because after the last one, it was going to be 6 months. And I'm getting close. I'm getting close to like 6 months since my last blood work. So I'll be getting it done soon. Shit. I think I was going to say something, but I don't remember what.
Okay, I'm done. Sorry.
When is that from? What is the source?
That's point
what is
4.
the context?
That's point 4 of the political party of the
I've done a document, or not a document. I've done a stream where I just go over so many quotes.
It's a great. This is a
Hitler,
great.
So Adam asks, where is that from? And then talks over the answer. But the answer of where is that from is the Nazi party program. And don't get mad at me for saying Nazi, okay? The Christianity and the third, they like tweeted about me, and then I was saying Nazi, and then people in the replies were like, why does he use that word? That's not. It's from the National Socialist German Workers' Party program, okay? It's basically the constitution for the National Social. Why does he say Nazi? Why doesn't he just say National Socialist German Workers' Party every time? Dude, it's only a pejorative if that's how you. This is like people who tell you not to use the word racist because it's an anti-white pejorative. And it's like, no, it's not. So, it's only that way if that's how you mean it. Anyway, that quote is from the Nazi Party program. And Adam Green says, where is that from? And then he talks over Dave giving the answer by just being like, I've read every Hitler quote. And he never said that. It's like literally the Constitution for the Nazis. It's like their platform. It's kind of a big deal that that's in there. But anyway,
from many other people speaking against Christianity.
Highly recommend this documentary. Christianity.
Yeah. Oh, that's the trash. That's such
Reich.
a slop trash documentary made by a bunch of flat earth kooks that are Christian identity and think they're the true Israelites that have spread so many lies that I'm Jewish and all this shit about me. That's trash, Dave. You're falling for slop.
No, I'm not.
Oh, so is it in the party program or isn't it? You know what I mean? That's because this is everybody who criticizes this, and you can see their like replies and the comments on and stuff. They just say, "Oh, this is bullshit." So, well, what is that in the pamphlet or isn't it? If you can disprove that, if you showed me that wasn't in the pamphlet and it's a lie, I would like delete that video off my channel and be like, "Oh wow, I got." But they never do that. They just say, "Oh, this is slop. This is stupid slop. These guys are liars."
Now here's something where we can get together.
Dude, that's a joke, Doc. A bunch of flat earthers made that, Dave. A bunch of retard coping Christians made that.
So instead of like
right, but is that in the party program or isn't it, Adam? Talk about coping. Talk about deflection. Talk about burying the lead. I keep taking my headphones off because they're irritating me, but then I remember I can't hear without them.
Actually addressing the claims and the footnotes here. We're going to do ad hominem attacks on the people.
Wait, rising to power and he's trying to win an election.
It's been unproductive.
I'm gonna try no headphones, and I'll just turn the volume down on my speakers, and maybe it won't feed. I used to do it like this all the time. And then I wanted to improve the quality of the show. All right, moving on. Kangmin Lee was fired from his job for his conservative beliefs. This is a guy that a lot of you probably know on Twitter. I've been mutuals with him for quite a while at this point. We're not going to watch this whole 7-minute video, but let's see what he says here.
Hello, everyone. My name is Kangmin Lee, and I was just fired from my job for my conservative beliefs. This wasn't about my job performance or my relationships with colleagues. It happened because of the things I've said online and the political and religious views I've shared. Right before I was about to head out to work, I got a call from an executive at my workplace, and he opened with this.
The reason for this call is that we've decided to terminate.
I don't have tendinitis. I have tinnitus, which is ringing in my ears.
Your contract effective immediately.
Oh.
But I am taking I take one baby aspirin per day for inflammation, that was doctor's recommendation. I'm not telling you to take aspirin every day, but that's what I do. Baby aspirin.
Beginning today and going forward, you're going to cease all contact with employees, and you are not welcome on our campus.
So they told me I was being removed immediately and not to return. The main reason? Because my posts were dehumanizing and derogatory.
It's clear to us that your commentary invokes language that's derogatory and dehumanizing.
The specific example they kept bringing up is when I called women who celebrated the murder of Charlie Kirk hags and psychopaths. And apparently, that's unacceptable.
Oh man, you can't say hags. Psychopaths, sure, but hags? That's sexist.
What else are they? Calling them psychopaths is mild compared to the depraved gloating over the death of an innocent man. But they didn't care about the context. So what specifically?
Well, how about yesterday when you implied that women shouldn't have the right to vote and that women are hags, miserable people, birthers, and psychopaths?
I didn't call women that.
Yes, you did.
Wait, birthers?
Birthers and psychopaths?
I didn't call women that.
Yes, you did.
Birthers is offensive because it's, I don't know, it's just kind of like a reductive thing to call a woman, but
it's very clear. We have
that's just a classic insult. There's nothing wrong with calling women hags.
Yeah, you can pull it up. I said that liberal women who dehumanize people and celebrate that.
You did not say liberal women. You did not say liberal women.
The context is
there's no context.
There's no context.
Do you mind if I can?
I'm gonna.
You can't. Again, this guy would never say there's no context where you can call somebody a psychopath. It's because he said hags. That's why. That's actually really funny to me. Makes me want to call people hags more often. Hag. Look at these fucking hags. Look at these old bags.
To finish, your language is dehumanizing. You target every kind of identity that's represented. I'm embarrassed that we're just realizing it.
So the context behind that is the thousands upon thousands of videos and tweets and posts of people who were celebrating the assassination of a husband and a father 2 weeks ago. So the context is the sheer number. It was like 80 to 20, 90 to 10. The majority of people celebrating his assassination, someone murdered in cold blood, were women. Now, these are women who are untethered to their family. They don't have good family lives, right? They have abandoned their families, and they don't have children.
So you don't know that.
You don't know that.
We don't know that. We don't know that they've abandoned ugly old woman. That's kind of what I thought.
Am I allowed to finish? Or are you going to keep white-splaining to me?
We can
Did you
be done
say
with the conversation.
white-splaining?
You are no longer permitted on this campus. You are effectively terminated immediately from your employment.
I asked for another example, and he accused me of saying that fat people shouldn't exist. What?
You clearly believe that fat people shouldn't exist.
What?
Correct?
I have never said that. I've never said that fat people should never exist. This is your emotion speaking. If you're able to at least use your faculties of reason.
We have.
Why don't eat? Saying fat people shouldn't exist is like saying junkies shouldn't exist. Is that contentious? Like you shouldn't become addicted to drugs. You really shouldn't do drugs. Full stop. for that same reason. You shouldn't overeat.
Soul Divider sent $5. TBH David got smoked by those two guys. I don't recommend watching the whole interview if you are Catholic.
I mean, I believe it. The thing is when people who hyper focus on one topic, they tend to be good at arguing that topic. When somebody has debated the same thing 6,000 times in their life, they tend to get pretty good. And so when somebody who has never like ran those arguments has to deal with it, that's why I brought Corey with me, because I knew it was going to be hard. But not that hard for Corey, honestly. Anyway. Apparently this guy got a job with Benny Johnson, I think it was. I think I saw Benny Johnson. I don't have it pulled up here, but I think Benny Johnson tweeted and said, and he had a give send go. Did he rake it in or what? 11,000. Not bad when he probably got immediately hired to a better paying job. Is it in the quotes here? The serfs. Anyway, I think he got a job working for Benny Johnson is what I think happened. So Canada is forcing all Canadians to hand in their guns. They have 1 year to get compensation. So the gun buyback program. And apparently this guy was in hot water for some leaked comments.
You have voluntary. How is this? You say that the program is voluntary, but after the amnesty ends, the people are not in compliance with the law. So how is this truly voluntary?
So Canadians...
Mr. Bliss Chilling sent $3. Yeah. You gotta hear past it, aka ignore it. That's what worked for me at least. The GAPS diet is designed to reduce inflammation, support the gut lining, and restore microbial diversity through dietary intervention and detoxification. Not easy though.
Yeah, it's hard for me too because like the women who make the food here, they make it for like 8 people at a time. So it's very difficult for me to like mandate what everybody else is going to eat. I'll look into it though. I'll check it out.
Starting in Cape Breton today, we'll be able to enroll in the program, be able to get compensated if they were to turn their firearm in, or they will be able to get compensation if they deactivate and confirm that it's deactivated with a certificate. So it is strictly voluntary. Nobody is being forced to undertake the buyback program. Well, the expectation is that they will comply, and the order in council.
The expectation is this is very funny. It's not mandatory. The expectation is they will comply. I could be wrong, but my understanding is that it's basically going to be illegal to own a handgun. I haven't looked super deep into this, but we have another news video we're going to watch after. But so the idea is like before it becomes illegal to own, we'll give you money so you're not out. But after this 1 year, then we're going to like just arrest you and take your gun. And then he's saying it's not mandatory, which is kind of funny.
As you know, is being extended from this October to October of 2026. So there is a 1 year window. Our expectations is that law-abiding citizens will abide by the law. And
it's not mandatory, but we do expect you to follow the law. It's not mandatory, but we will arrest you if you break the law. Like it's such weird political doublespeak, you know?
Beyond that, the police of jurisdiction is tasked to, as you know, implement the criminal code.
If Canada is a rule of law, why did you offer to pay someone the difference in compensation and bail them out of jail? You're a minister. Why'd you say that?
Let's maybe put this in context. This was a private conversation with an individual that I've known for many years. I said these two issues frankly in bad humor, that is being misinterpreted. It is very clear that there was a private conversation. It is with someone. It is an acquaintance.
You told you
Well,
should we believe what you said on the phone?
Well, first of all, it's not the phone. It was in the context of a private conversation in person. What is important is that if you look at it in context, that was not a serious attempt. It was a bad attempt at humor on my part. It was in no way to suggest that they will either I will bail them out or otherwise. That is not.
Is it a subject you should do humor about? Is it a subject you should do humor about?
Let's look at the.
So again, I think in the next video it's going to explain what he said. He got like recorded saying something, and it sounds like by his explanation.
Cheeseface sent $10 on Rumble. This is literally Hobson's choice. You can have any horse you want, as long as it's the one by the door.
Thank you, Cheeseface, for the $10. It sounds like he was like talking to somebody who got arrested, and he was like joking how they'll give you the value for the gun, and then you can use that money to bail yourself out of jail. We'll see in the next video.
The context of it was a 20-minute conversation, and as part of the conversation in a private setting, it was a range of issues that we discussed. So it is human.
If you want to say one thing in private and one thing different in public, was to see that this program moved along quicker, and what we have today is maybe, hopefully, 200 guns in Cape Breton. Have you not failed at the task of getting this moving faster?
Absolutely not, because we need to test the system that we have for individual gun owners. The next 5 to 7 weeks is a test period. It will enable us to go through the glitches. In fact, I did the enrollment last week as a trial run, and I came up with some suggestions to improve it. Those improvements were done. What we anticipate is feedback that we get with Cape Breton. We will be able to strengthen and make it a better program overall.
But Madame Provost, juste une dernière question, Madame.
All right. Leaked audio hears Canada's public safety minister questioning gun buyback program.
Canada's public safety minister, Gary Anandasangari, found himself defending his...
Old Gary Anandasangari got himself in some... Look at this name on the screen. Anandasangari. Of the Cape Breton Anandasangaris? Old Gary Anandasangari got himself in some hot water.
Government's gun buyback program that he appeared to criticize in a recording made on Sunday. Anandasangari did not know he was being recorded when he said that if he had the chance, he would not have proceeded with a federal program aimed at buying assault rifles and other weapons.
Chilling sent $3. Have you found a good hydroxyapatite toothpaste, remineralizing but non-fluoridated? Also, do you have a Santivia water filter? How's your drinking water? Lead? Fluoride?
I just use a, what is it called? What are those water filters that everybody uses? Brita? Is that, am I not gonna make it? Am I gonna die because I use Brita? And then I have like fancy toothpaste from the dentist. I don't know what it is though. I don't know if it has fluoride or what. Does that really matter? When you brush your teeth with, fluoride is not a big deal, is it? As long as you're not like drinking the fluoride.
Gun owners. David Aiken has listened to the recording. David, what does the minister say on it?
Well, this recording, Donna, was made by a tenant of a property that Public Safety Minister Gary Anandasangari owns in Toronto. The tenant had called Anandasangari about a landlord-tenant issue, but then the tenant says Anandasangari brought up the government's gun control plan.
I'm going to tell you something else. You may not be happy with. We're launching a gun buyback plan.
Anandasangari and his tenant have known each other for a while. The tenant legally owns an assault rifle that will soon be banned by Ottawa. Ottawa expects gun owners to sell their freshly banned guns to the government.
But it's not mandatory it's totally voluntary. But we will arrest you if you don't comply with the voluntary program.
The tenant says he does not...
so fucking crazy that he would say that with a straight face.
want to sell. And in the recording he provided to Global News and others, he tries to convince Ananda Sangari to scrap the policy. Ananda Sangari says he cannot.
This is the mandate I was given by Carney to complete this.
He says one of the reasons the Liberals cannot change, they need votes from Quebec.
Right, and this is something that very much a big deal for many of the Quebec electorate that voted for us.
And then he tells his tenant he would have done things differently.
If I were to redo this from scratch, right, I would have a very different approach.
The Conservatives, who have long opposed this gun buyback program, saying it unfairly targets legal gun owners, hammered Ananda Sangari.
The minister said that his gun grab...
sent $3, that's like 2x fluoride toothpaste. Also, Brita filters do not effectively remove fluoride, only their lead filter is certified to reduce lead, while fluoride removal requires specialized filters using reverse osmosis. Sandivia filters are awesome.
Okay. Well, maybe I'll buy myself... How much are these? Are these like insanely expensive? People are like, dude, you got to get this filter, and then it's like $2,000. It's like, maybe I'll just die. Sandivia filter. Oh, this one says $50. Looks like there's a range. So the Sandivia is the actual... what, the mineral that they use to purify the water? Okay. I'm not going to do research. I will just trust your word 100%, Mr. Bliss Chillin.
Won't work. Why is it that liberals only tell the truth when they don't think anyone is listening?
My comments were misguided.
Sent $3. Their $60 psychological side effects of excessive fluoride exposure include a range of neurodevelopmental and behavioral problems, such as reduced IQ scores, anxiety, depression, emotional reactivity, attention issues, and symptoms of autism spectrum.
Yeah, unfortunately, I spent all my formative years drinking the fluoride, so guess I'm fucked.
After that concession, though, Ananda Sangari defended the policy.
It's important to have the program in place is what Canadians are looking for.
And in that...
I really don't see how he tried to claim he was joking from what we heard of the call. You know what I mean? Like it came across a lot more like he was just trying to placate his tenant by passing the buck and just trying to like
Tristan
be
Chase
like, I don't want this, but it's out of my hands.
From my cold, dead hands.
Would go harder if it was like an assault rifle. would go harder if it wasn't an old-timey bolt action that you could use to murder Charlie Kirk with, but not penetrate his neck. Thank you.
Jay Parabellum sent $3, so can I just blame all my problems on fluoride now?
That's what I do. Dude, how based would it be if Trump said super chats on streams count as tips? How is it not a tip? How is it not? I'm literally like a waiter bringing you your food, and then you voluntarily say, hey, good job, here's a couple bucks. But I still have to pay taxes?
Ananda Sangari said the gun buyback pilot program will start as early as tomorrow. Donna.
All right, David Aiken in Ottawa, thanks.
Okay, all right, okay, finally. It's finally time for everybody's favorite part of the show, the Blacktivities.
Yo, it's the Blacktivities. What's the activities? Only the factivities. Catch you lactivities. Cope.
Whoops. Florida mom fumes and accuses her son.
Hey, don't you know send $3 is fluoride the new euphemism for Jews?
Accuses her son's school of being racist after his teacher sang him the funny birthday song, which includes the lyrics, "You look like a monkey." So I'm sure most of you guys are familiar. This was very common when I was growing up in Canada. Happy birthday to you. You live in a zoo. You look like a monkey and you smell like one too. Teacher is in hot water for singing this to a black child. He black. You can't do that. He black.
I automatically said that's unacceptable. And I don't think nothing's funny about it.
Prather says there's a history of black people being described that way, which makes it extremely upsetting.
My skin is boiling. I don't even like racism, and to know where we come from and our ancestors.
My skin is boiling. I don't even like racism. And to know where we come from and our ancestors.
And for us to be labeled like that, because when they call us monkey, they basically saying that we're ugly, we act like a monkey and all this and that. I don't like that at all.
Polk County Public Schools district staff and the HR department are reviewing this. I followed up with additional questions, like, is this the first time this teacher has sung this song to students? And I also asked, while this is being reviewed, will the teacher still be in the classrooms? I've not heard back yet.
I don't play games about my child.
In a letter to the school board, Prather asked for an
I don't play games about my child. Is the teacher still allowed? Can we get this mad woman away from the kids?
Apology, immediate disciplinary action, and counseling for her son. After receiving no response, she decided to show up in person.
They just kept saying it's an active investigation. They can't answer no questions or anything like that.
Yeah, stand, hold still for one. I'm just gonna. You're a little bit off with the. I'm just gonna. Bleep. There you go. I don't know if you guys can see that well on the screen, but her nose ring is uncentered, and I really want to just help her out with that.
Angelicia Bruton, 10 Tampa Bay.
Prather says her son was moved to a different classroom after the incident, but he hasn't returned to school since. She now plans to transfer him to another school.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear legend. Happy birthday to you.
Would you like the funny song now that I sing to you? Okay, it goes like this.
He asked for it. He literally asked for it. Would you like the funny song?
Happy birthday to you. You live in the zoo. You look like a monkey. And you smell like one, two. Woo! Give a clap, everybody. Happy birthday, legend.
Oh.
I automatically.
I talked about this before, but seeing this woman in this setting with like a nice couch and like nice curtains and that, there's just like an intense feeling of wrongness. You know what I mean? Like you are a fish out of water. You should be literally in like a mud hut. Okay, the superintendent, we briefly touched on this on the last show before I spurred out. This guy was the superintendent of a public school, and he's an illegal alien who was supposed to be deported, and he was registered to vote. And it turns out that he also has a very long violent criminal record combined with immigration fraud, and his PhD was also fraudulent.
Jay Parabellum sent $3. That poor white woman teacher was actually race blind. Look how it worked out for her.
Yeah, well, they say they openly say you can't be race blind or we're gonna just ruin your life. They've been saying that for a while. Maryland lawmakers concerned after learning Iowa superintendent is still an active voter.
Controversy continues for former Baltimore City educator and Des Moines school superintendent Ian Roberts. He was arrested, you remember, by ICE last week, accused of overstaying his visa. And now Maryland lawmakers demanding answers tonight after discovering he is still listed as an active Maryland voter. WJZ live at 5 o'clock tonight. Caroline Forback on your corner with the concerns over his voter registration and credentials. Caroline.
The State Board of Elections says Roberts never actually voted here, but the Freedom Caucus says that doesn't excuse the fact that he is still registered in the state of Maryland. Also, Morgan State University today confirmed he never actually earned the degree he once claimed. Ian Roberts was born in Guyana and came to the U.S. on a student visa. Federal agents say he stayed long after it expired and arrested him last week in Des Moines, where he was superintendent of schools.
If a black guy puts on a suit and he tells you he's a doctor, liberals will just be like, here's the key to the kingdom. Please guide us, oh wise one. Please tell us how to run our lives. You're a black doctor in a suit from Guyana? Please show us the way.
But here in Maryland, where he once taught in Baltimore, lawmakers say his case highlights a bigger issue.
The Maryland Freedom Caucus looked him up in the system and found that he had been an active voter for more than a decade. What's going on with our voter rolls and how someone who had not been, by their own LinkedIn profile admission, living in the state of Maryland for a decade could somehow still be considered an active voter in the state of Maryland.
On Tuesday, State Election Administrator Jared DeMarinis said Roberts never voted here. He said in a statement that unintentional registrations can occur through agencies like the MVA, and that Maryland errs on the side of protecting voters before canceling any registration. But the next day, the Maryland Freedom Caucus sent this letter saying that explanation only
unintentional registrations of voters. That's what you want to hear. Most secure election of all time, by the way. But we did accidentally register some illegal aliens to vote. You know, these things happen.
Raised more concerns.
It exposed a flaw that we have felt like has existed for a while in the system, and that is that not only can people who are here illegally very easily register to vote, but they also aren't being removed.
The caucus wants details on how Roberts was registered, whether he was mailed a ballot while living in Missouri, and why the state resists federal review.
The Maryland Freedom Caucus wants to know what has actually gone wrong here. We want a detailed explanation from the election board.
And another revelation, Morgan State University confirmed Roberts never received a doctoral degree there, despite claiming one when he applied for the superintendent job in Iowa.
His resume was just fraudulent too. They don't check. Dude, you can just lie on your resume. You can just do things.
Iowa. Roberts remains in federal custody awaiting immigration proceedings. And the State Board of Elections has not yet responded to the caucus.
This was just a tweet about him not having a doctor. I didn't know they were going to say that in the video because I didn't actually watch the video, but they did say that already. Moving on. 7 men arrested in Florida in connection to smoke detector theft ring. This guy must be the mastermind. Hermes Sierra. Look at this guy, Dwight Mosby. Smoke detector theft ring. That's not a sentence you hear every day.
A statewide organized theft ring gets busted for stealing something we
Yeezy Baby sent $3. I love black people, but I hate naggers.
Thank you, Yeezy Baby.
all have in our homes. We're talking about smoke detectors. These are photos of what detectives recovered. Investigators say the ring targeted stores here on the Gulf Coast.
7 men were arrested. 3 of them targeted a Home Depot in Lee County. They stole around $3,000 in smoke detectors. Gulf Coast News reporter Mohammed Abdul Qawi found out why they targeted smoke detectors.
Smoke detectors can save lives, but now they're in the center of a massive retail theft ring, including here in Lee County. 7 men were arrested for stealing more than $800,000 worth of items at Home Depots.
It can be the difference between getting the job done and not getting the job done.
Rudy Prouty knows how important having working smoke detectors in your home can be. His dog saved him from a house fire when his detectors didn't go off.
But I didn't put new batteries in my smoke detectors, and they didn't go off. And my dog woke me up.
When thieves steal those life-saving detectors from stores,
you're taking away, their safety, their protection.
Well, that's exactly what happened at this store along US 41 in Lee County. 3 men accused of stealing $3,000 worth of items, part of a multi-county retail theft ring.
Remember, these are not victimless crimes.
Today, Florida Attorney General James Uthmeyer announced the arrest of 7 people. They were accused of stealing smoke detectors from Home Depots across the state.
At the end of the day, it's consumers that pay the price. When there's theft in retail stores, it ultimately leads to higher costs for security, for prices of goods, and consumers are hurt.
Investigators say they uncovered at least 44 smoke detector thefts. Home Depot lost more than $800,000. Investigators recovered $78,000 in merchandise during a search warrant in Hillsborough County. Now, shoppers like Margot Bedinas have some advice for anyone else thinking of trying the same thing.
They can get a job, like you have 2 hands, you have 2 legs, you're healthy, just go. In America, it's so many opportunities.
Uthmeyer says the
I know, why don't you get a job?
Suspects are facing multiple felony charges. Reporting from Lee County, I'm Muhammad.
He said the police investigated why they were stealing smoke detectors, but then it was just because they're worth money. Yeah, most things you steal are worth money. People were speculating that it was like some kind of terrorist ring because there's radioactive material in smoke detectors and you can build a bomb, but I really don't think that's what these criminal masterminds were doing. I think they were just selling it. The reason it's blacks doing it mostly is because they realize they live in a community of people who need smoke detectors. They're like, we can corner the market selling smoke detectors to black people who don't know how to replace them. They don't even know they need to replace them. So if you just tell them they need to replace the whole thing, then they'll just buy a whole new smoke detector instead of buying a battery. This guy had 99 previous arrests and then was just arrested for attempted murder.
Take a look at this
after
guy.
Stabbing.
Yes, I know he's scary, and you might see him chasing after you in your nightmares. It's not that bad, though. It's nowhere near as scary as this guy. So relax, it's gonna be fine. What you're about to learn about this guy is so shocking and so unbelievable, you will be stunned. You will be angry. You will question if we have a functioning country at all. So first, let's hear about what this genius allegedly did.
The suspect has been identified as Courtney Booz. He walked up to a man and a woman and started yelling at them. Documents say the woman's husband tried to de-escalate the situation, and that's when the woman says that Booz stabbed her husband. The man is in critical condition, we're told.
Great, good work. Well, I don't think you'll be surprised to hear he's got a rap sheet, like we seem to hear every day now from a new insane-looking criminal. I want to quickly remind you of Logan Federico, who was killed, allegedly of course, by a guy who'd been arrested 40 times. 40! Her devastated dad...
People have been talking about Logan Federico a lot, and I'm glad to see it. We actually have statements from her father in a video we're going to be checking out soon. But I name dropped Logan Federico when I was on the No Jumper podcast. But that one didn't really get a super lot of attention at the time, but it's getting more
Easy
attention
Baby
now.
sent $3 smoke detectors. Yo, how is this real? Niggers make me laugh and sick truly. Blacks ain't ever gonna act right.
It really is surreal.
Went viral for his speech at this hearing.
Can anybody here explain?
This one was a while ago. This was whenever I did the No Jumper pod, it was like in the week leading up to that, or like the 1 or 2 weeks leading up to when I did that, which is like several months ago. Because that's why I brought it up at the time. I was like, look, man, just in the last week, there was that one had happened. There was another guy who got like attacked with like a machete at a bus stop or something. And there was a kid on a playground who got pushed down and beaten on.
$5 check cozy link.
Pushed down and beaten on, and was all covered in blood. This is the criminal record for the guy. Well, let's see. 80 cases, 38 misdemeanor cases, 37 felonies, 9 citations. 80 to 90% of the cases were either dismissed or had a plea deal. A lot of the cases were criminal trespassing. Yeah. That's the thing too. So many of these crimes, they end up not charging them. They dismiss the charge. I did that video, my last members video. I listened to that Night Owls podcast where they talked to that woman, but leading up to it, one of the guys on the podcast was talking about how a black guy had like shown up on his property. Thank you, Max Flavor. Being schizo and like trying to break in, and he called the police. The guy got arrested. He went to like testify against him, and they basically like dropped the charges. And the guy was all mad. He was, or they gave him like a deferred whatever, or like a community. He got like off with nothing, and the guy was angry. And as he was leaving, he said like one of the people, like the prosecutors or something, said to him something like, "Don't worry, we're gonna get him the help he needs." And he talked about like how infuriating it is. Like, you're the victim of a crime, and these fucking bleeding heart do-gooders, they act like your concern is supposed to be for the well-being of the criminal.
Me, well, how possibly he could be on the street? Possibly be on the street. How is it possible?
So we go back to this guy, who now has somebody fighting for their life. Let's play a game. Do you want to guess how many times he's been arrested? Here's your first hint. It's more than 40. Much more than 40. Let's double it. 80? Nope. Higher still. The answer? 99 times. He's been arrested 99 times, including for robbery, theft, and battery with bodily injury. Now, let's guess how much time he's spent in jail, at least in the last few decades. Answer? Not a single day. I'm sorry, everyone. This is not how a functional society works. There's an old saying that goes like this: mercy to the guilty is cruelty to the innocent. But of course, Democrats think jails are racist.
We cannot incarcerate our way out of violence. We've already tried that. The addiction on jails and incarceration in this country, we have moved past that.
I think it's time to start executing our way out of violence. Call me crazy, but I have an idea.
It is racist, it is immoral, it is unholy, and it is not the way to drive violence down.
So let me remind you of this boy in Ohio who was sitting in a grocery shopping cart when a woman arrested 1 week prior stabbed him to death. Let me remind you of this paramedic who was trying to save the life of a woman who bit a police officer 1 week prior. He was stabbed to death by that woman. Let me remind you of this woman who was working at a furniture store in Los Angeles when a man with an extensive criminal record walked in and stabbed her to death. Let me remind you of this guy who was pushed in front of a train by a guy with a history of violence. And of course, we all remember Irina Zarutska. We could go on for hours. These liberal judges and Democrat politicians have to be held accountable, or this is never going to stop.
The cost of this is immeasurable. I'm going to come back to that, but man, it's so infuriating. Okay, the father of 22-year-old Logan Frederico, who was brutally killed by a career criminal, absolutely unleashes during a House hearing against soft on crime policies.
How many of y'all have kids? I'm just curious. Here's what I need you to do. When I tell you this story, think about your kids. Think about your child coming home from a night out with their friends, laying down, going to sleep, feeling somebody come in the room and wake them and drag her out of bed, naked, forced on her knees, with her hands over her head, begging for her life, begging for her hero, her father, me, that couldn't be there. She was 5'3". She weighed 115 pounds. Bang! Dead.
Jeez.
Gone.
The gay Joker sent $3. The Batman and his Jew family want to fill Arkham Asylum with criminals because they raking subsidies for housing criminals. They benefit from the revolving door that is the prison system. If you really want to strike a blow at the Bat, execute Nogs.
Really, dude, during this powerful testimony, man, I felt that. I felt that shit, dude. Oh.
Why? Because Alexander Devontae Dickey, who was arrested 39 goddamn times, 25 felonies, was on the street. How about that? How good are we doing for our family? How good are you doing for your kids? He should have been in jail for over 140 years for all the crimes he committed. You know how much time he spent in prison? A little over 600 days in 10 years. He's only 30 years old. He was committing 2.65 crimes a year since he was 15 years old, but nobody could figure out that he couldn't be rehabilitated. Well, you'd have to put him in prison to see if he could be rehabilitated. Isn't that the idea of prison? But no, my daughter wanted to be a teacher. She finally figured it out 2 weeks before she was executed. And I haven't heard a damn word from Byron Gibson in South Carolina. Not one word. 4 months, no communication. His biggest concern was that he was pissed off about my interview and how I made him look on the Fox News channel with Trey Gowdy. How pathetic is that? That we're letting our 22-year-old kid visiting friends. It's all she ever wanted to do was visit friends. And she literally was executed while on her knees begging for her life. Her name's Logan Federico, not Irina. And you will not forget her. I promise you. You will be sick and tired of my face.
Based. I'm assuming somebody accidentally called her Irina, which I'm assuming is why he said that. I don't think it was a shot at Irina. This guy's got absolutely the correct energy.
And my voice until this gets fixed. I will fight until my last breath for my daughter. You need to fight for the rest of our children, the rest of the innocents, and stop protecting the people that keep taking them from us. Please. You have the power. We put you in the power to do what you have to do. We're asking you, we're begging you all to stop this. 39 crimes in 10 years, 25 felonies. Can anybody here explain to me, well, how possibly he could be on the street? Possibly be on the street. How is it possible? I could sit down in a room and I could explain the whole process of how it failed, how South Carolina failed, Logan, okay? How lack of communication. What y'all did, you woke up a beast and you pissed off the wrong daddy. Because I'm going to put it out there. And I'm not going to be quiet until somebody helps. Logan deserves to be heard. Everyone on this panel deserves to be heard.
Run. This guy should run.
And we will. Trust me. My daughter laid on the floor for 7 hours
run
before
for
somebody
governor.
in that house recognized that something was wrong. And that career criminal, an hour later, went on a spending spree with her debit card. When they saw his face on a video, they didn't have to do a check. He was arrested so many times, they knew who he was. They knew exactly where to go get him. Pathetic. Absolutely pathetic that I'm here today. Thank you for your time.
Every black guy gets a $750K invoice. Yeah, that's kind of a reference to the cost thing. I'm still gonna come back to that, but hold that thought. City of Montgomery to host HBCU Classic Weekend. So this is from like a week ago. The HBCU Classic Weekend
Same
was
weekend.
this
It's the
past
first time
weekend. And HBCU, if you don't know, that stands for Historically Black College or University. So this is just an announcement.
In just a few minutes. Right now, it's coming up on 6:45. Happening this weekend, it's HBCU Classic Weekend in Montgomery. Two major HBCU football games just miles apart the same weekend.
It's the first time the Morehouse-Tuskegee Classic will be played in the capital city, and it's also Alabama State's homecoming week. Let's check in now with WSFA 12 News reporter Bethany Davis. She's live at Riverfront Park this morning. Bethany, there's a lot happening this weekend.
You're right. Two big football games, but listen, this weekend is so much more than football. It's so big. The city of Montgomery is.
Imagine how many of those speeches pressed because of that one. Yeah, the community relations. I'm probably going to do a deep dive on the community relations thing tomorrow because apparently they've been defunded by the Trump admin now. And Academic Agent had done a big video, and I plan to try to go through that tomorrow. I have so many things today that I pushed it to, but I want to go over that too.
Bringing in a Ferris wheel for the weekend. This is Montgomery Mayor Stephen Reed, along with the Director of Cultural Affairs, Jennifer Dobbs. Let's talk a little bit just about the football this week.
Anyway, this is just an announcement that it was going to be HBCU weekend, the Classic Weekend. And what happened on the Classic Weekend? 2 killed and 12 wounded in shooting in downtown Montgomery, Alabama. So it was like a festive, people out for the weekend, out on the town in the evening, and there was a mass shooting that left 2 dead and 12 more wounded.
We have confirmed that there are 14 victims who have been shot. Of those victims, 2 are deceased. 3 are life-threatening, and 9 are non-life-threatening at present. I am so angry that I'm holding on to my composure right now because this was not a typical mass shooting that people typically read about. This was 2 parties involved that were basically shooting at each other in the middle of a crowd. The people.
This is the kind you don't typically read about because it doesn't turn into national news because it happens multiple times a weekend in America.
Who did what they did, who are responsible for opening fire on each other like that, did not care about the people around them when they did it. And now we have 14 people who have been shot.
Anyways, they don't have the suspects. They're not arrested. They don't know who the suspects are.
Wandering Neanderthal sent $10 pretty tapped after this past week's vacation, but here's a tenner. Welcome back, LP.
Thank you. Hey, our vacation's synced up. How fortunate. Thank you for the $10. So we don't actually know if this was black people, so I don't know what's the over under. We'll see. We'll put this one in the maybe column, and we'll see if they actually ever catch the guys. 8 shot, 2 killed at the Kickapoo Lucky Eagle Casino in Eagle Pass, Texas. Karen Rashad Jones and 2 white people murdered at a mass shooting at a casino in Texas. What's going on here?
We are on top of all this breaking news this evening. Mass shooting at a casino in Maverick County. That's what we're getting to first. At least 2 people killed, several more hurt. Law enforcement is investigating just outside of Eagle Pass. Thanks for joining us. I'm Mandy Noel. That shooting just before midnight overnight at the Kickapoo Lucky Eagle Casino and Hotel. A 34-year-old man now facing capital murder charges. The casino, located on the Rio Grande, is about 20 minutes outside of Eagle Pass and nearly 200 miles from where the suspect, 34-year-old Kieran Jones, was arrested in Wilson County by Texas DPS.
Montgomery is
According
over
to the
60% black. I would bet my life savings it was blacks.
Yeah, what's the over under? It's got to be like 95% chance, at least.
Eagle Pass News.
I would also take that bet. Maybe not my life savings. I'm too risk adverse, but I'd put a couple grand on it.
Leader Jones previously served in the National Guard. News 4 San Antonio's Destiny Fuller joins us now live from Eagle Pass, where the Maverick County Sheriff spoke very briefly just in the last hour. Destiny?
Mandy, that's right. And after a long day in Eagle Pass, this was the first press conference that we heard for the day. And like you said, the sheriff, Mr. Tom Shermer, kept it very brief, saying that this is still early in the investigation. Here's what he said. Deputies were dispatched to the casino around 11:45 last night to help Kickapoo Tribal Police secure the area while they searched for the shooter around the Kickapoo Lucky Eagle Casino. He got away and was later found in Wilson County.
Kickapoo Police Department, in collaboration with the Texas Ranger and DPS, located the suspect in Wilson County, and he was taken into custody. The suspect name, he's 34 years old, and his name is Kieran Jones.
Jones is facing 2 counts of capital murder and 5 counts of assault with a deadly weapon. Witnesses gave us a first-hand account of how it all went down.
A packed Saturday night at the Kickapoo Lucky Eagle Casino, quickly becoming deadly.
Everybody started getting out of the casino. As we were walking, we stopped, and I heard someone yell, "Active shooter, run!" And after he said that, I heard 2 gunshots, and that's when we started running towards the exit.
Noemi Trejo was on what was supposed to be a relaxing sister trip. Instead, their group witnessed a shooting that left 2 people dead by Sunday morning.
My sister says, "Oh my God, there's a body. Oh my God, there's a body." When we started getting closer is when we realized that they were right there, like literally in front of her truck.
Another witness who wants to stay anonymous said she and her family saw everything unfold from their hotel room.
We started seeing a chaos because from our window you could see from the hotel side, you could see everybody running out.
Eagle Pass Mayor Aaron Valdez confirming the identity of one of the victims as Mark Antley in a Facebook post, describing him as a friend and generous leader in the community. He's also a retired U.S. Customs and Border Patrol agent.
It hurts me more seeing them also suffer for no reason. They had no fault in this. They just at the wrong place at the wrong time, and that our hearts are with them.
34-year-old Kieran Jones is in custody for the shooting. He was arrested nearly 175 miles away from Eagle Pass in Stockdale, reportedly taking state troopers on a chase before they caught him. Investigators are still trying to piece together why this all happened. Witnesses dealing with unexpected trauma.
They're like, oh, the witnesses, they saw it all go down. Here, they're like, and then the witnesses are just like, yeah, it was crazy. He's shooting people. So they didn't really see it all go down.
It was just scary. Okay. We couldn't even go back. I couldn't go back to sleep. I didn't go to sleep till
I thought you was going to say arrested 175 times too for a second there. I was like, you got to be shitting me.
5 in the morning.
And probably have to seek counseling for this because it's something traumatizing to see.
We're told Jones is currently still in the custody of Wilson County authorities, while the Kickapoo Tribal Police say they're trying to figure out how to get him back here to Maverick County, back to Eagle Pass. In Eagle Pass, I'm Destiny.
Kickapoo Tribal Police.
Fuller reporting.
The Kickapoo Lucky Eagle Casino is the largest casino in Texas. It's operated by the Kickapoo tribe on reservation land. The resort has more than 3,300 slot machines, live poker, and multiple restaurants and bars. The hotel has 249 rooms. I called them earlier and was told both the casino and the hotel are closed for the foreseeable future. So the question now, what happens to the alleged shooter, depends on who he is. If the suspect is a member of the tribe, federal prosecutors could step in alongside tribal authorities. If not, the case goes to state and federal court. The Kickapoo tribe would hold Jones until he's handed over.
Guessing he's probably not a member of the Kickapoo tribe. 3 former military. Oh, he's former military? I missed that part. Alleged habitual drunk driver charged with killing an up-and-coming tennis star in Los Angeles. Police say Jenia Belt, 33, mowed down Braun Levy, 18, while drunk and having a suspended license. She is currently free on a $0 bond. So this account, National Conservative, is really good. I get a lot of my Blacktivities news from this account. He's always tweeting out stuff like this. Now, this happened a while ago, back in like May, because I was looking it up. But I guess she just got charged. But here's a little video about the kid. This is from June 19th.
The family of an 18-year-old tennis standout and straight-A high school senior has created a nonprofit in his honor. Last month, Braun Levy was walking home when he was hit and killed by a suspected drunk driver. Braun's family is now keeping his memory alive by encouraging everyone to live like Braun. His mother, Jennifer Levy, is joining us now to share her son's story and the lasting legacy he leaves behind. You're joining us with a smile on your face. And you know, the first question I asked when you walked in the studio, how are you doing? Thank you so much for being with us this morning.
Thank you for having me.
And I'm sure everyone who's been following this story wants to know how you're doing.
It depends on the hour. It depends on the day. But we
Smiling, that means she never loved her son, by the way. We're not going to get into all that, the Erica Kirk stuff, but that's what that means. She never loved her son.
we have been supported by so much strength from our community and from living like Braun and from making his legacy known to the world.
And it's so amazing to see you find the strength to do that. I know grief comes in waves, so as you said, every hour is different, but to find the strength to make meaning behind his legacy immediately after his death is just beautiful. Tell us more about your son. We understand he was a star student, star athlete. What do you want people to know about him?
Well, we always say live like Braun, and that's how we're trying to live like Braun. And Braun, the most important thing about Braun is that he lived by leading with kindness, inclusivity, enthusiasm, creativity. He was intuitive. He was everybody's best friend. Every situation he walked into, it was, I'm going to make this a better situation, be it big or small.
Yeah. Just a beautiful spirit. Okay, so you've started a foundation. You keep saying live like Braun. What does that mean through this foundation, and how are you going to continue his legacy?
Well, first of all, we want to provide children or kids the opportunity to have access to education.
So, you know, I don't know where this guy, National Conservative, where he gets his info, because like I did a news search for this, and this is sorted by date. And the most recent story was May 6th. Appalling secret of LA woman who killed high school senior. Apparently this is about, she was like a habitual drunk driver. I didn't actually look at this article, but booked belt on suspicion of homicide and DUI. They reported she's being held without bond, but according to National Conservative, who I trust, she was actually secretly released without bail. She was also charged with either driving with a blood alcohol content or refusing to take a chemical test, as well as hit and run with property damage. Well, how about like vehicular manslaughter? She pleaded no contest to the misdemeanor count of hit and run with property damage. Sentenced to a year of probation. Oh, the crash was in 2023. Oh, this is like a previous crash, and she was barred from driving when so her license was suspended when she drunk drove, killed this kid. Got it. Got it. And we're still doing nothing with her, right? Dude, this is what I'm talking about. Like you can't measure the cost of these people, what they take from us with all these people, the Irenia Zarutskas and Logan Federico, this kid, what's his name? Braun Levy. You know, there's that infographic thing has been going around Twitter a little bit that says that like the average white person pays like 900,000 net in taxes, and the average black like is like a negative net 750K. They always try to do this shit where they like you can't measure these things. You can't measure the loss to a society from having promising high performing people murdered by just useless trash. Jesuit, is it Jesuit? The all boys Catholic high school senior. He and his tennis partner Cooper Schwartz. Schwartz and Levy. What is going on at these Catholic schools? Are these guys ethnically Jewish Catholics?
We're at the location. We're at the location where sadly that young man lost his life. His family spoke with Fox 11 News to honor his memory. Take a look.
He was friends with everybody. He was a bright, bright star with an amazing future that was robbed from him much too early.
Jennifer and Dan Levy want people to remember their son, 18-year-old Braun Levy, exactly as he was, a kind, loving, and respectful young man.
You know, everybody says, oh, he's the tennis player and smart kid, but he was way more than that. His personality was off the charts. He was always up to something. Everybody loved him, not just the athletes or the cool kids, but everybody.
Braun was a senior at Loyola High School, where he led his tennis team to 4 straight league championships. He was preparing to attend the University of Virginia in the fall. But early Sunday morning, his parents received the call every family dreads.
I knew right away it was very bad because I have gotten a call, unfortunately, in the past when they say everything is fine, your child is fine, but this is what happened. And they didn't say that.
Anyway, like I said, I could not find where any news about her being officially charged, but I trust this guy. I don't know if he's like checking the police the police dispatches every day, or I don't know how he does it, but I'm sure he's accurate. When she was first arrested last May, media claimed she was charged with murder and held without bail. However, public records show she was quietly released on June 4th with 0 bail, and her charges have been reduced to misdemeanors. Live Oak police arrest 3 accused of murdering man during robbery.
Just in tonight, 3 people are facing charges in connection to a deadly shooting in Live Oak last month. Police officers say 18-year-old Tara Williams started talking with Joseph Simmons online, and the two agreed to meet up February 21st. Investigators say Williams planned on robbing Simmons along with 20-year-old Zed Washington and 17-year-old Octavius Webb, who we do not.
Octavius, why? He's only 17. He's just a child. So she flirted with this guy to get him to come meet them, and then they robbed him and murdered him. Why would Gloctavius, no. He was gonna be a rapper. He loved doing his little songs.
Have a mugshot for because he's a minor. Simmons sped away, but in the process was shot. Officers say they're pursuing charges of felony murder, robbery, and tampering with evidence.
So they don't show the victim in that one, but our boy National Conservative here shows definitely looks like a wigger, and maybe a little melanated himself, maybe a little bit on the swarthy side. Wait, is this Doctavius here? This guy's 17? Bro, he looks like he's 35. He looks like he's 35 and living in the 70s. He looks like he's in a blaxploitation film. Use the internet to lure Joseph Simmons into an ambush by Zed Washington and Zactavius Webb. Simmons sped away after being shot, but soon died. What is this? Luke Besson, who co-wrote and directed The Fifth Element, wanted Prince to play that role, and Prince initially said he was open to it. Then when he saw the costume, he said it was too gay even for him. They decided the costume was more important than having Prince wear it. That's funny. Okay. Oh, this one's infuriating, man. Man who randomly stabbed a 6-year-old to death let out of prison after serving just 10 years. Father of the boy vows to kill him if they cross paths.
I held him so deep in my arms. And finally, he took his last breath, looked at me, and closed his eyes, and he was gone.
Ronald Exantis traveled from Indianapolis to Versailles, walked into the Tiptons' home, and attacked the family in their sleep. Logan was killed, and his father and 2 sisters were injured.
He snaps, and he just stands up with me sitting on top of him, and he throws me across the room. 10, 15 feet, he throws me across the room and goes after her.
3 years later, in 2018, Exantis was found not guilty of murder by reason of insanity.
Not guilty by reason of insanity. That is insanity. The fact that exists, and like the only way that should be a possible thing to have exist is if you are automatically instituted for life. Right? If you can't not kill somebody because you're insane, you should never like that should be worse than just be found guilty of murder. Because a person who is guilty of murder could at least potentially be rehabilitated. But if a person who is insane killed somebody because they have no control over that should be worse that they find that, and it should mean you never get released ever.
Convicted of assaulting other family members. And just this month, October 1st, Exantis was released early from prison for good behavior.
So the assaults were sane. He was responsible for the assaults, but not for the murder. That part, beating up the family members, sane thing to do. Killing the kid, insane, not responsible. How does that make any sense? Out on good behavior.
It's infuriating that a 6-year-old was killed sleeping in his bed, and someone literally only did 10 years in prison, and he didn't even do the time for that. He did time for assault charges. It's just infuriating.
But the family says it isn't just anger they're living with, it's fear.
Me and my siblings and even my mom and dad, from here on out, we have the burden of making sure that he doesn't come back.
He told her he was going to kill every one of us. So now
This poor
I've got to be
family,
on
man.
extra guard to protect my kids because I will not lose another one. Not like this.
He threatened them? Hold on. He told them he was going to murder them and they still let this guy out?
So now I've got to be on extra guard.
Burden of making sure that
Let me
he
hear
doesn't
this.
come back.
He told her he was going to kill every one of us. So now I've got to be on extra guard to protect my kids because I will not lose another one. Not like this.
I laid in bed. I gave up. I gave up on life. I gave up on my family.
These, you know, so their 6-year-old son was murdered 10 years ago. And you can just see what it's done to them. You can see how it's worn them down as people, you know, the devastating effect of this. It's not right, man. It's not right that they I know it's like obvious to say, but it really is infuriating. There's no other word for it.
Gave up on everybody. I just wanted to die.
Everybody deserves a fighting chance to have justice for them, and it's not.
I've had my talks with God because I'm not afraid to tell you all. I told the court, if I ever cross paths with him, I will kill the man. I will kill him where he stands.
Based? When will it end? When will we stop doing this? I think this is the same video. Yeah, it's just a shorter clip. This one's super viral, 30 million views. Don Lemon has a message for white men.
Men who look like you, men who vote like you, and men who sound like you. White men, something is broken. Something is cracked deep inside when so many of you believe the answer to fear, to loss, to change is violence. Are you listening to me? I hope I'm saying it loud enough for the...
See, he could be saying this directly to the dad we just watched. Something is broken in you. You think the answer is violence? Yes, actually. Actually, yes.
People in the back.
Nine-month-old girl shot and killed outside Georgia motel. Police arrested 22-year-old Ladarius Brown.
Police say they arrested Ladarius Brown for aggravated assault with a gun against another person, plus murder for the cause of the baby's death.
We heard it like, you know, it wasn't just.
He has a show. I mean, he's just streaming. It looks like he's just streaming from his living room. It's funny to see. It's kind of satisfying to see Don Lemon and Joy Reid reduced to the lowly status of living room streamer. Pathetic.
One shot, you know what I mean? Like they had a clip, so they all ducked down, and then the next thing I knew, the police were just here, and I had no idea like what had actually happened.
Cobb County records show multiple cases for Brown dating back to 2021. They
Murder, commission of a felony. Wait, are these the new charges? Or did he have another murder and commission of a felony? September 23rd. So these are the new ones.
include possession of a gun, robbery, battery, theft, assault. Cobb County Jail record.
Murdering a kid should be worse charge. I think it should be like infanticide, and it should be like harsher penalties. Execution. All murder should be executed, but it should, if it's infanticide, it should be like a more painful kind of execution. That's what I think. All first-degree murder should be death penalty.
LPI had to check Telegram if you are still alive. Also how come when you go to the vet or doctor or store it turns into a curve your enthusiasm episode. You are not beating the initial accusations.
I don't even know what you're talking about. Vet or doctor or store? What is that even in reference to? Thank you for the $3. So executing all murderers and more painfully, lethal injection or whatever for murderers. And if it's infanticide, then it's like firing squad.
Records show another male arrested at the same hotel.
What color was I don't know. I think maybe black. I think it might have been his kid. I don't know. They don't really say. They don't tell you. But a lot of times these people, when they murder a baby, it's like they're killing their own baby because they don't want to pay child support and shit like that. I don't know. I don't think they say in this video either.
Booked around the same time as Brown. He's being charged with tampering with evidence and falsifying or concealing facts. Both are felony charges. Police say they arrested Ladarius.
Let's do it. Let's check if there's any updates. Ladarius Brown. Hyperfresh.com. Sometimes these like shitty sites have more info, it's like the Daily Mail. The fuck is that? She was precious, always bringing smiles to people's faces, one woman said. I don't know. Not clear. 5 in custody. Anyway. Pope Leo the 14th. All right, I guess we're done with the Blacktivities finally. It was a lot because we had a week to collect them. I expressed my concern about the rise of anti-Semitic hatred in the world, as unfortunately we saw with the terrorist attack in Manchester a few days ago. People not really thrilled with this tweet from the Pope. And by the way, I forgot to pull him up. There was like he had like some really bad takes over the week while I was on vacation. The Pope had a tweet about how you're not pro-life if you support the death penalty, which is like, that's so annoying. That's such an annoying thing to say. Pro-life is like a political slogan that literally just means anti-abortion. That's what pro-life means. People try to tack all these other things onto it. It's literally a meme. Like, oh, you're pro-life and yet you don't support school lunches. It's like that meme, you know what I mean? You're pro-life, but you think we should execute murderers? Wait, let me get this straight. You think it's wrong to kill innocent children, and yet you want to execute murderers. How is that pro-life? And talking about how the Trump admin is being mean to immigrants, and he like blessed a block of ice because of climate change. Hold on. I should have pulled some of these up. I forgot. I had so many things going on. Block of ice. Why are these videos so long?
All right, let's lighten things up.
Blessing a block of ice. Is he making an idol out of that block of ice? What is he doing?
A little bit, I think. Days after Donald Trump said climate change is a scam, the Pope has presided over a bizarre ceremony during which he blessed a block of ice. Take a look.
Bad week to be Catholic, man. Wow, powerful.
Okay, but it got weirder. After blessing the slab of ice, he lingered while a bunch of oddballs pranced around with a giant bedsheet simulating rivers or something.
Laudate si, mi Signore, con tutte le tue creature.
Mia, the Pope slams people who ridicule the idea of global warming. Do we need a woke Pope?
That's not the goofiest thing I've ever seen.
Yeah, this is one of the more extraordinary things I've seen. No, I don't think we need a woke Pope. Listen, I'm Catholic. I'm a huge supporter of the Catholic Church. I think the Catholic Church has done great things for many Christians all around the world. Just look at John Paul II. He did a great job.
I don't have the patience to listen to an Australian accent.
$3, Arnold Schwarzenegger speaks with a belt behind him.
What? What? I don't get it. Anyway, I'm not here to rag on the Pope. I'm just saying it's been a rough week for Pope fans. Well, what's going on with this Manchester attack? So this is in the UK. Manchester synagogue's attacker was on bail after rape arrest, police say. 35-year-old Jihad al-Shami. So this guy drove into, him and a partner. Why is this? Drove into a synagogue with like a truck and then got out and stabbed people. His name's Jihad. He's a Syrian. Oh, and 2 people who died, bonus comedy, were shot by the British police.
Emerging about the Manchester synagogue attack.
Not that funny for the people who got shot, of course.
That killed.
But maybe they never should have given the British cops guns after all. Remember when they can't spell synagogue? There you go, beating the Jewish allegations finally. They used to never give these guys guns. They give them guns and first thing they do is go out and kill 2 innocent bystanders. That's not a good start.
2 congregants and left Jewish communities worldwide shaken. Police say that when they opened fire on the killer, they accidentally shot 2 worshippers who were holding the synagogue doors.
Don't laugh. It's not funny. Oh, so they're holding the door shut. This diagram.
Keeping the attacker out
funny,
as he
guys.
tried to smash his way
Hey,
in.
don't you dare
Adrian
laugh.
Dolby was killed. Another man seriously injured by the gunfire. All those who blocked the entrance being hailed as heroes, including by Rabbi Daniel Walker, seen here moments after the shooting, his robe stained with blood.
We're going to honour the memory.
So were those the only 2 people who died? I think it might have been.
Those very, very, very good men who lost their lives.
The other victim, Melvin Kravitz, killed by the attacker.
This is very much still an active crime scene more than 24 hours after the attack. Police here searching for clues about the killer's methods and his motivations.
Police say Jihad al-Shami was a UK citizen born in Syria and announcing he had previously been arrested for alleged rape.
And he was out on bail. So he recently was arrested for a rape allegation, and they let him out, and then he went out and attacked a synagogue.
And was on bail at the time of the incident, adding he seems to have been motivated by extreme Islamist ideology. Tonight, his family say they strongly condemn the terrorist attack and are praying for the victims.
The pain is very raw.
Was it 2 dead total? 6 suspects being questioned, so just a normal Islamic terror cell. In the UK, none of these headlines say they're really downplaying the. Right, 2 victims, including one who died hit by police. What was the fucking death toll? 2 victims dead. Right, so the 2 people who died were both killed by the police. That is not great. That's not a good. It's not good shooting. Security guard
Soul Divider sent $3. This is worse than the Holocaust.
I always get to the synagogue early because I do auxiliary security. We have 2 paid security guards. We have a volunteer security. The 2 security guards are on the outside. We have one on the perimeter of the door on the inside. And Alan Levy and I always stand at the top of the stairs. Sorry, and do security from there. And I was alerted by the auxiliary security. Came up to us and said there's a very suspicious guy.
Okay. I'm not listening to 8 minutes of that. Comments turned off. Is that normal for Sky News? Hold on. Let me just go to a random video here.
I'm pleased to say we're joined by Miata Fambulev from...
Wait, attacks on places of worship. The moment that changed rugby forever.
If I'm honest, when that whistle went, I didn't really know
Comments
what to do myself.
allowed.
I didn't even know that the whistle...
Interesting. Seems like certain topics we don't want to hear from the plebs about. Okay, Konstantin Kisin had a quote tweet here. This has a lot of views. This must have been quote tweeted by Elon Musk. Twitter is in a place right now where if I see a political tweet that has 20 million views, I know without checking that there's an Elon quote in there somewhere, because it's like you can't really do it without that. Anyway, it's not coming up, but it's in there somewhere, trust me. Anyway, a man called Jihad has gone on murder spree on a synagogue, and 2 respected, neutral, and balanced recent BBC stalwarts would like you to believe the problem is right-wing journalists. You don't hate the media enough. I really don't like when this guy uses our memes. But anyway, whatever this tweet was, it got deleted. I guess the 20 million views that got them harassed into deleting the tweet. But it's from an account called The News Agents, which I was not familiar with, but I looked into it a bit this morning. And apparently they talk a lot about the far right. So this is a tweet from June 17th. I wanted to check out a couple of these little videos because this is a gift to the racists. The failure to gather data on grooming gang scandal. So given that little caption, the failure to collect, it sounds like she's saying that if we collected data on grooming gangs, then we would know that it's not actually Pakistanis who are doing it. Which is crazy.
Utterly responsible.
It's the opposite. They collect the data and then they suppress it intentionally because it is Pakistani guys doing it.
With data anyway, but
I know, dude. I hate Konstantin Kisin. Don't, I didn't know I had to say it every time, but in case there's any confusion, I fucking hate that guy, and I can't wait to see his career go the same way as James Lindsay and Jordan Peterson.
Specifically when it's around protected characteristics.
Well, and I know this is difficult, and I think it's really important
to be precise about this. And I know that the data is imperfect. One of the conclusions of your report is that the data is imperfect and it needs to be much better. But at the centre of this, the politics of this, the political question, which is constantly prosecuted, we've even seen it be prosecuted this morning from Kemi Badenoch, is that there is a particular problem with Pakistani men and group-based child sexual exploitation.
Has Kemi Badenoch said that this morning?
Well, what I'm saying is that she has been out this morning holding a press conference saying that this has been ignored for political reasons for far too long, and that therefore this is a sort of, it's been part of a cover-up and so on. From what you can see, what does your...
Kemi Badenoch, of course, is like an African who is now the leader of the Labour Party, which is the Conservative Party. So that's your far right politician, Kemi Badenoch.
Say empirically about how accurate that charge is, that there is a particular problem and that this problem is centred around Pakistani men.
So I would just urge enormous caution of the opposition leader making political football out of anything, which, sorry, that's quite a tough thing to say. I just wish people wouldn't, because at the heart of it is the victims and then Pakistani heritage communities. The vast majority are law-abiding. So will you establish the facts? Yes, Prime Minister, I'll establish the facts. The facts are the preceding government did not do a good enough job to collect data to establish ethnicity. And then in recent times, people, the police, MPCC and others, every visit I went to, people would say the vast majority of people that commit child sexual exploitation in group-based are white. I would say upon what basis have you made that? Slide 1, slide 2, and I was like, And then you realise they're making that finding on the basis of 34% of completion of the data. You can't make that. So people are leaning into a finding that...
It's bullshit anyways. There is a study, I cited this in my Grooming Gang documentary, that it was like 98% Pakistan. It was like, no, it wasn't 98, but it was like 75% or something. But they're like, a small percentage. They're like 7 or 8% of the population doing 75%. It's like, it's even worse than 1350, and it's significantly worse. I forget the exact numbers, but total horseshit. We're all searching for a coherent political ideology where there may be none at all. Expert on the modern far right on why the motivations behind Charlie Kirk's killer are anything but clear cut. Actually, it's pretty fucking straightforward. He was a gay... he had a gay boyfriend who was a transsexual, and he killed Charlie Kirk as like a romantic gift to his tranny boyfriend, because Charlie Kirk was full of hate, in his own words. So it's actually really straightforward and clear cut. This was posted September 18th, so 8 days. So basically, we knew all of that when this was posted.
The main thing that people are kind of trying to read the tea leaves and trying to decipher an ideology, and making sense of messages that, and I'm not saying this for you, so please don't take this personally, but I think that most of the people trying to read these are 1 or 2 generations removed from having the cultural context where this looks like anything but gibberish. And the reality is, it looks like gibberish because largely it is gibberish. I think it's very possible, at least from the engravings on these bullets, that we're looking at we're looking for a coherent political ideology when there might not be one.
Hey, fascist, catch. Bella Ciao, Ciao, Bella Ciao. What could he... It's just gibberish. None of this stuff has any kind of meaning. Hey, fascist, catch. Just random ramblings. What? Hey, fascist, catch. Guys, this is gibberish
Whatsoever.
So just talk us through what you're kind of reading into the casings, because they're sort of 2 words, 3 words, many of which refer to memes, to video games, to kind of like up, down, arrow actions. Just talk us through how you read this.
So to go through them, I guess one by one, one of the more transparent ones, because it doesn't need that much context, is the one that says, "If you read this, you are gay." LMAO, laughing my ass off. So this one is, I guess, it would be the equivalent of
They
just
brought in the meme expert. LMAO. What is that?
saying "idiot says what," and when someone says what, they're an idiot. The one that has puzzle.
That's the most transparent one, you guys. It's not "Hey fascist catch."
Most people is the one that says "notices bulges, ooh woo, what's this," which is a reference to a 12-year-old meme that is often referred to as online brain rot, and it's just a scene of two people taking part in online sexting, two furries taking part in online sexting.
Oh, two furries. I was like, is he going to mention that? Because that's kind of, you know, that's part of the meme. It's a furry meme, which is total degenerate, filthy, coon-brained, sex-obsessed shit that normal people don't engage with. He did mention it in passing, you know, two people, two furries. Blah, 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 blah.
I think I would rather not go into the details of what furries are, but it's the community of people who dress as animals. Then the two that people have been mostly latching on to decipher political ideology is "Hey fascist catch," followed by up, right, down, down, down arrows. This is a reference to a video game called Helldivers 2. The up, right, down, down, down arrow is the command to launch a bomb, and "Hey fascist catch" is so on the surface of it looks like a reference to Charlie Kirk was the fascist catching the bullets, but because it references Helldivers 2, the context in the game is that the human faction in the game of Helldivers 2, which is a science fiction game where humans fight aliens and robots, the human faction is a very openly fascistic society that refers to everyone other than themselves as fascists. So players would refer to other players as fascists as well. And finally, the third one is maybe the most overtly political of the four. The last bullet is the most overtly political bullet is the one that says "Bella ciao, bella ciao, bella ciao, ciao, ciao," which is reference to a famous Italian anti-fascist song, which would look like this is an anti-fascist message. Again, the complication of this one is that it has been co-opted to some extent by an even further right community, the Groyper community, which I guess we can get into as well.
Is that even true that the Groypers do Bella Ciao? Is there like a clip of Nick singing Bella Ciao Ciao or whatever that song is? This one was like news to me when I heard it. I was like, Bella Ciao, the fuck is that? I didn't know. And then they try to say, oh, that's like a Groypers thing. The Groypers love that. I'm like, but I'm a Groyper general, according to Kino Casino. According to Kino Casino, I'm a Groyper general, and yet I've never heard of this Bella Ciao Ciao thing.
So trying to decipher a clear, coherent political ideology from this one is also
where they got it. So I think I remember where they got it from. It was like a Spotify playlist that somebody made, and that song was on there. It's an anon. Nobody knows who made the playlist, but it was called like Groyper songs or something. That's where it comes from, right?
We need more context and we need more information to be able to make sense of it, if there is anything to make sense of it at all.
Okay, so since you mentioned it, let's talk about the Groypers. This is the kind of Nick Fuentes inspired group.
Yeah, now we're getting to the red meat of who killed Charlie Kirk. Let's talk about the Groypers.
Even further sort of far right extremist, sort of white nationalist grouping. Just explain what you're seeing there.
Mm-hmm. So Nick Fuentes, for those who aren't familiar, is the founder of the America First Political Action Conference, which is I guess it's on the furthest right fringes of the MAGA movement. The conference that they have yearly often has neo-Nazis speaking, as well as some Trump administration's official from time to time. Their community is called the Gropers. Nick Fuentes was also the main advisor of Kanye West when he...
I don't think they've ever actually had a Trump admin. Tom Homan was like supposed to at AVPAC 3, and he pulled out, and Marjorie Taylor Greene, same thing. Or she did speak, didn't she? And then she like disavowed it afterwards. I think is what happened, but she's not. Is she Trump admin, MTG? Maybe she is. I don't know.
Was having this extremely bizarre pro-Hitler media tour and political campaign.
The News Agents USA.
So these are like two BBC journalists who went off to start. I'm guessing. I don't know, but this is the vibe I'm getting. They went off to start their own thing, and it's all like dealing with the far right. And so they try to when that's your job, you make everything about the far right, including not just Charlie Kirk's murderer, but also Jihad al-Shumaneni, who went and tried to kill people at a synagogue and in a roundabout way successfully did kill 2 Jews by getting the British police to shoot them. A new document reveals the Israeli government is paying a cohort of 14 to 18 social media influencers between $6,100 and $7,300 per post. Israel is paying influencers $7,000 per post. We know who some of these influencers probably are just based off of things that have been going down recently. The Charlie Kirk meeting, this meeting where he got chewed out with Bill Ackman, allegedly. And other people who were there were like this Emily Saves America girl who is like Ashley St. Clair 2.0. We had a clip of her in the last YCSP where she's talking to Jesse Lee Peterson about converting to Judaism. And Jesse Lee Peterson is like, I love Israel. If I was God, I would make it so that you can't go to heaven unless you went to Israel. It's so beautiful, beautiful culture, beautiful people. Yeah, I love Jesse, but he is black at the end of the day. You can't expect too much from the guy. He's black. Anyway, so this Emily Saves America is probably one of them, even though she's not really that popular. And who's that guy, Xavier DeRusso or whatever, that zesty nigga with the blonde hair, that guy, he's probably one of them. I've been able to like suss out who a few of these influencers probably are. Ask Perplexity AI confirms Israel MFA funded Zio influencers like Laura Loomer. So Laura Loomer, probably another one. Recent FARA filings show an Israeli MFA-funded influencer campaign run via Bridge Partners with invoices totaling about $900,000 for 14 to 18 influencers from June to November 2025. Based on expected 75 to 90 posts and net funds after production costs, that works out to roughly $6,000 to $7,000 per post.
$7,000 per post. That's how much an influencer might make for pro-Israeli propaganda, all of it paid by the Israeli government to a group of American influencers as the genocidal state grapples with declining global support.
But we have to fight with the weapons that apply to the battlefields in which we're engaged. And the most important ones are in social media. We have to fight back. How do we fight back? Our influencers,
Disclosure forms filed with the US Department of Justice detail nearly $900,000 in payments for roughly 14 to 18 influencers to create content between June and November 2025. According to the documents, the Israeli Ministry of Foreign Affairs recruited the help of the firm Bridge Partners to oversee an influencer campaign codenamed Esther Project. Invoices sent between Bridge Partners and the German branch of PR firm Havas Media Group break down the hefty payments. $60,000 for concept development with influencers, $140,000 to cover production costs for the first few influencers recruited, monthly payments of up to $250,000 as the firm signs on more content creators, and $50,000 allocated for the final content delivery. The recruited influencers who are not named in the files were collectively expected to produce 25 to 30 pieces of content each month across various platforms, averaging around $7,000 per post. Bridge Partners described the payments as promoting cultural interchange between United States and Israel.
We have to secure that part of the base of our support in the United States. That is being challenged systematically.
Promoting and whitewashing Israel is one part of the project, as Tel Aviv is looking at the bigger picture and seeking even more.
It kind of raises the question of, are the influencers taking this money? Is there any requirement that they disclose this? Because it's kind of this weird thing of like, okay, this is a foreign influence campaign that they have to register through this FARA Act, but they don't say who they're paying to spread the propaganda. So do the people spreading the propaganda have to disclose what they're doing? Because you have to disclose, okay, if you get paid to shill a product, you are technically have to disclose that according to the FCC. But if it's like a political opinion, you don't have to disclose if you're getting paid. But what if the people paying you are foreign agents of a foreign government? Like, why was Tenet Media? Why was that a thing if it's legal to do this? Why was Lauren Chen's life ruined if this is just a thing you're allowed to do?
Control of the narrative.
And the most important purchase that is going on right now is TikTok. TikTok, number one.
The most important purchase is TikTok. By the way, Jews bought TikTok, and now the juice emoji is banned. The juice emoji is banned, and also you're not allowed to criticize AIPAC. I'm not making this up. We have that coming up soon.
And I hope it goes through because it can be consequential.
And the buyer, Oracle and Partners, known to have Zionist ties. In 2017, Oracle co-founder Larry Ellison gave $16.6 million to Friends of the Israeli Defense Forces, their single largest donation at the time.
For 2,000 years, we were a stateless people. And now we have a country of our own, defended by all the brave men and women of the IDF who, devote their lives for preserving the state of Israel.
The latest payouts come after Tel Aviv was also recently exposed for spending more than $150 million to polish up its tainted image. Will Israel be able to change people's perception of its decades of oppression?
$150 million. Keep in mind, this is like a $1 million campaign we're learning about here. So imagine how many influencers, imagine how many shills out there have been lining their pockets when they're doing $150 million campaigns.
And ongoing genocide by influencing and controlling social media.
But it goes, there's more. Okay. With TPUSA and Dream City Church, you can be tracked by Israel at funerals, at church, at political events, everywhere. Remember when TPUSA spokesman Andrew Colvett said their tech partners tracked over 277,000 devices at Charlie Kirk's funeral? Well, the Dream City Church in Phoenix that hosts all TPUSA rallies and Amfest and Kirk was on the board of is front and center in FARA filings of Israel geofencing and propaganda campaign. This is a weird thing to say. I just broke the news that our tech partners tracked over 277,000 devices in and around State Farm Stadium yesterday. What? And so this guy links the FARA filing. You can just look these things up on the government website. Show Faith by Works LLC. Show Faith by Works. Registered to Israel, the government of a foreign country. Name of foreign principal, Israel Ministry of Foreign Affairs.
The Charlie Kirk show.
We're not watching that clip. But he's quote tweeting here our friend Mel. Israel's plan to win back the Christians. According to new FARA filings, Israel has just hired a California firm to conduct the largest Christian church geofencing campaign in U.S. history in order to target evangelical churchgoers with pro-Israel, anti-Palestinian messaging. What the fuck is geofencing? It's just like targeting people based off their geography with ads and shit. A virtual boundary around a physical location using technologies like GPS or Wi-Fi to trigger an action, such as sending a notification or an alert when a device enters or exits the defined area. We now have a record of a foreign country stalking American Christians while they attend church in order to spam them with state-sponsored propaganda. Here's from the PDF outline, the largest geofencing and Christian targeting campaign in U.S. history. Goals: large-scale Christian outreach and education. Impressive physical displays of pro-Israel educational materials. The 10-7 experience. It's, by the way, tomorrow's the anniversary for those who celebrate. It's a joke. Don't ban me, YouTube. It's a joke. Diesel, what's going on, buddy? Can you guys hear that? Oh, dog's getting old. I'm getting old. Custom build trailer by professional Hollywood set designers. This is like a VR thing where you go in and get murdered by Hamas. What is this? Wrapped with images of Israel or the Western Wall. What? Mounted survive to tell VR. Survive to tell VR experience. Imagine they put you in like a VR thing where you get murdered by Hamas. You have to watch Hamas put your babies into ovens in virtual reality. Possible Christian celebrity spokespeople. John Voight, Chris Pratt, Tim Tebow, Stephen Curry, Clayton Kershaw. Additional big name pastors. Dude. Not Tim Tebow. What? It literally says pro Israel and anti-Palestinian there in the messaging here. Like you got your pro Israel messages and you got your anti-Palestinian messaging. Palestinians refuse to recognize the right of Israel to exist as a Jewish state. They're going to drive the 10-7 experience. Oh, the trailer. I thought trailer like a movie trailer. It's an actual trailer that they're hauling around to mega churches for people to go in and experience. Got it. They have plans to target 303 churches across California, Nevada, Arizona, and Colorado. With possible plans to expand into Texas, Utah, and Wyoming. Show Faith by Works, LLC. And then we have this article by Gen X Girl, Israel's coordinated campaign to propagandize conservatives in America. This is a timeline of sophisticated, well-funded, and deliberately opaque influence operations conducted by Israel and its allies within the U.S. to target conservatives. Polling data shows Israel has permanently lost the American left, and they are losing the American right, particularly young conservatives. This is like a pretty long article. I was planning to go through it, but going on close to 3 hours here, so... it's very similar to like the stuff we just looked at with the influence campaigns. It's basically a lot of that. So you can check this out on Gen X Girl's Twitter if you want. But it's basically like a lot of the same stuff. Here's the people I mentioned. Emily Saves America, Xavier, what's his name? DuRusso or whatever. I don't know who this guy is. This is at that meeting, the Charlie Kirk meeting, I think. I skimmed through this a little bit already, right? Billionaire Bill Ackman hosts a meeting in the Hamptons to discuss support for Israel with influencers, including Charlie Kirk, Seth Dillon from the Babylon Bee, who has me blocked. Is Seth Dillon getting paid $7,000 per post? Is Joel Berry? People want to know. CJ Pearson, that's this guy. Xavier DuRusso's Emily Saves America, Lou Hawley, Kristen Wan, and UK attorney Natasha Hausdorff. Reports allege it was a high-pressure intervention to bring Kirk and others into line, with Hausdorff seen screaming at Kirk. And then these guys all got taken to Israel. Brooke Goldstein. A lot of these people are like literal who's. Paid trip to Israel where they met with Mike Huckabee and Israeli officials. Israel's eighth front war is on America by media platforms. They literally bought TikTok, and uncensored AI just got banned from X for Holocaust denial. Bridge Partners. So this is the FARA stuff we just looked at. Very big article, as you can see here. October 1st, the Israeli Knesset approves, I don't know how you say that, Knesset, whatever, their parliament, approves an additional $40 million for the foreign ministry's Hasbara budget, $24 million for global influence, and $16 million to finance more international delegations. So bringing people over to Israel. All right. So that is Gen X Girl on Twitter. You can check that out in more detail if you want. TikTok has begun censoring the juice emoji, which is also commonly used to allude to Jews, as well as comments critical of AIPAC. So this is, look at this comment. Laughing emoji, clown emoji. Democrats and Republicans are both controlled by Israel through AIPAC. Do some research. Your content is against our community guidelines. Democrats and Republicans are controlled by Israel through AIPAC. That's a bannable offense on TikTok. This one is literally just the juice emoji. That's all it is. It's just the emoji. Violated the community guidelines. They are not playing. These Jews are not playing. And you're going to see this. They're pushing hard, and you're going to see it on other platforms. You're going to be seeing this on X, on YouTube, on Facebook. They don't just go after one platform. It's just you can't really buy YouTube. It's not so simple. But they shouldn't have even been able to buy TikTok, but that the Trump admin forced that sale. The government forced the sale of TikTok. Make of that what you will. E-girls are crashing out over TikTok removing Nick Fuentes sounds. So they were doing this thing where they would take like a clip of Nick saying something and do this thing they do where they mouth the words themselves. You know what I mean? And TikTok was taking those videos down. So just like a clip of Nick saying like whatever, I don't know exactly specifically, but those are also being banned by TikTok.
Here's a fun fact for you guys. The person in charge of running hate speech on TikTok now is a former IDF soldier. Process that. A person that was committing genocide is now in charge of hate speech on TikTok. Here's a fun fact for you guys. The person in charge of running hate speech.
Instagram is the new racism. Yeah, you have to be really, or the new TikTok, you have to be really careful with Meta. It's taken me years to learn where the line is, and there's so many things like bullying and harassment they'll get you for, just for certain words. You got to be careful. But you can get away with a lot if you know what isn't allowed and you just avoid that. Kash Patel says that they're getting the ADL out of the FBI. So some good news here. James Comey wrote love letters to the ADL and embedded FBI agents with them. A group that ran disgraceful ops spying on Americans. That era is over. Patel cuts ties. Comey's FBI made with ADL as organization faces backlash for TPUSA criticism. Oh yeah, they had also, it came out that America First and TPUSA was like in the hate speech index glossary thing, the ADL thing that has been like a running meme because they put all kinds of ridiculous shit in there all the time. And they had TPUSA in there for anti-Semitism. And they had them in there, before Charlie Kirk was murdered. And when people saw that, they were really angry. America First was also in there. And there was so much furor on X that they said they're sunsetting the whole glossary. They're shutting the whole thing down. Fuck lines, just say shit. Wow, thanks, Cheganazi. What a cool idea. Man, you must have a lot of social media followers to give such good advice. Fuck the lines. Yeah, just get banned. Just get banned, dude. Fuck the lines. Just get banned. That's a good strat. That's a good strat for a guy with 0 Rumble subscribers to be pushing. Look at your fucking account. Why doesn't Rumble let you look at people's? Can't do it. User Changazi. Anyway, I'm just going to assume you have 0 subscribers on Rumble. But thanks for the tip on how to do social media. And in Canada, a man was sentenced to 9 months in prison for Holocaust denial and hate speech. Who cares about social media followers? Dude. Bye. Why are you watching me? You're my follower, nigga. What do you mean? You are following me, nigga. What do you mean? Who cares? I'm above. You are watching a video on social media right now, retard. Hey, retard, you're on social media. Who cares? Just get banned. I am very smart. Get the fuck. You got what you wanted, okay? You got your wish. You're banned. So mission accomplished. Good job. Fucking hell, dude. Anyway, I'm wrapping up here. I have a couple little funny things before I go.
Quiet. Be quiet.
Me be quiet.
It's my show. I haven't got the microphone. 8,000 likes. You be quiet. What's your name? Matt Michael Blaustein? Shut up. I love you. Honestly, here's the thing. You have a nice energy, so I'll answer your question. Go ahead, madam. What's up? So, if you know all that...
If I know all what? I've been talking for an hour.
Oh, now you got an Israeli company from Tel Aviv also owns the billion-dollar payment processing system Dybex used in gaming servers, and they own CurseForge, the largest Minecraft modding service. They exploit dumb kids for money, and it's predatory.
Thank you. I have no idea what that is. Dybex. Yeah, but I believe it. A lot of fucked up shit going on there. Roblox too. Man, I just, why do you think Israel is paying influencers? Like, do you think they just do you think that it's like benevolent charity that they're giving those people money? It's because people get influenced on social media, dude. But what if all of our guys get banned? That would be cool. And then everybody on social media can just listen to pro-Israel Jew slop after all our guys get banned. Fucking brilliant, man. Why didn't I think of that?
The giggles, man. That's weird. Go ahead. I swear to God, I'll let you ask. Go
You
ahead.
know all that.
Yes, ma'am.
How did you pick up on it before you have to ask somebody that awkward-ass question?
How do I pick up? Yeah, that's how I'm feeling.
If you know all that you know.
Just get banned. Is that guy a Jew? Am I getting targeted with Hasbra? That's like such bad advice to just get yourself banned if you're trying to do anything. It's really bad advice. People think they're fucking tough guys. Like, I don't care. I don't care about the rules. Look at me. Fed post. It took 3 whole hours. Yeah, it's true. I lasted pretty long. Thank you for the $20. Power chat still shitting the bed, apparently. Try again.
Tristanche sent $20 LP. See how rested and recuperated you are after a week off. Took 3 whole hours to lose your shit. Very zen.
Let Dr. Phil. Thank you, Dr. Phil.
That question doesn't make...
This is actually a funny clip. I laughed out loud when I watched this morning. Let me back up a little bit. Okay, we're done with that guy. He's gone. He can't hurt me anymore. The bad man can't hurt me anymore. Okay, let's watch this clip.
Go ahead. I swear to God, I'll let you ask. Go
You
ahead.
know all that.
Yes, ma'am.
How did you pick up on it before you have to ask somebody that awkward-ass question?
How do I pick up? Yeah, that's how I'm feeling.
If you know all that you know.
That question doesn't make...
I want you to let me finish talking.
Yes, ma'am.
If you know all that you know, then how do you know so much?
If I know...
If you know all that you know, then how do you know so much, was the question.
All that I know, how do I know so much? You're talking like a...
He repeated it back to her like word for word. If you know all that you know, then how do you know so much?
Parrot that just learned English. I'm gonna need security when I leave because she gonna fuck me up. For real. She gonna fuck me up.
I asked you how many motherfucking in this bitch. All that you know, how am I gonna know what I know, but you know, bitch. Anyway, so I'm trying to ask you, I know, but she know.
Shit. Nick Fuentes talking about Tucker Carlson at the Kirk Memorial. This is kind of old, but I just watched it this morning and I thought it was pretty funny.
Raving, it was like, oh boy, that's a little hot even. And they say I'm the #1 anti-Semite. That was a little intense. He can't keep getting away with it. Tucker's crazy. Tucker's a crazy bitch, man. He goes up there, says the money-changing Jews that run Jerusalem, they had to kill Jesus for telling the truth, just like they killed Charlie Kirk. And then he had this maniacal laugh. Then he went, oh. And then they called him out and he said, I didn't say that. He said, me?
I can't do it that good.
Everyone
That's
eats
pretty
hummus.
good.
I like hummus. What do you mean? He said, dude, the absolute madman. Tucker is like the goat of gaslighting. But unironically, he goes up at the memorial and said, Charlie Kirk told the truth. You know who else told the truth? Jesus. And you know what happened? He got killed by Jews. And people said, so are you saying that the Jews killed Charlie Kirk in the way that they killed Jesus for telling the truth because they hate the truth? And Tucker said, I never said that. You're crazy. I never said that. Everyone eats hummus. What do you mean? Everyone runs Jerusalem. And it was like, dude, the king of gaslighting. The goat of gaslighting. You got to look, put some respect on his name. The guy's the goat of gaslighting.
Gray Army sent $20. Did you hear about the shop owner in Germany who put a sign?
And the last one here, 30-year-old man live streaming from his parents' basement, yelling at his mom for interrupting him, then trying to pretend the exchange didn't happen.
One more big swing and we bury him. One more big swing. Go upstairs. Sorry, I didn't mean to. Did I accidentally mute my shit?
And he's streaming on X. There's the messages coming in are all on X, and it's weird. They look like bot messages. I don't know who this guy is. You just tell your mom to go upstairs.
No, my fucking laptop fell. In my excitement, my laptop fell off the fucking fell off the table, so I had to grab it really quick and fucking get it back. My knee is like right here.
He looks so defeated there. Like he's like this is like he's like this isn't gonna work, is it? This is getting clipped, isn't it? He looks so defeated there for a second.
Fucking get it back. My knee is like right here, so I kick that up. It moves the laptop there. Go upstairs.
Oh, babe, I'm about to finish.
Mom. Go upstairs. One more big swing and we bury him. One more big swing.
All right. Okay, guys, that's the show. Thank you, everybody, for watching. It's good to be back. I'm starting my Silent Hill remake playthrough tonight for Spooky October. I'll do later in the month. I'm gonna do the murder trivia Jackbox stream. It'll be a stream of just murder house trivia, spooky theme. Assuming I can get it to work. I have to check it because last time I tried that it didn't work. But that'll be later in the month. And also, I'm doing the Backlash. I'm going to Coeur d'Alene, however you say it. I'm going there, and I'll be doing the show on Wednesday, October 22nd. So that's what, 3 Wednesdays from now. I'll be doing the Backlash, and hopefully I won't miss anything because my plan is to do the Tuesday show, and then I'm flying out there. And then I'm doing the Wednesday show with them and then flying back Wednesday night. So I do get back kind of late on Wednesday, like way past my bedtime. So I don't know if there will be a Thursday show, but it'll be cool if I can do it all without skipping a beat. Coeur d'Alene. All right, you guys. Thanks for watching. Thank you to everybody who sent in the big donations. Appreciate it. Cat Respecter, my nigga, Tristan Chase. Everybody else, sorry if I forgot anyone. Appreciate you guys. Have a good day, and I will catch you on the flip side. Peace out.